believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Hi. I hope you're doing well. I'm broadcasting today at Cool Rock Party as well on Twitch, and I want to thank you guys for doing that. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are aware that we were banned for 5 years on Twitch because of accusations of homophobia. Yeah. Now they relax their standards because of Steve Crowder and the YouTube thing, so they no longer have a term of service which violates free speech, and I am not a homophobe, I assure you. These people who are accusing me of being a homophobe are generally gay, and they find me attractive, so I think it's wrong that people are being sexually harassed by homosexuals. It's been happening quite a bit in America. And I take on the tough role of leading the anti-LGBTQ community toward a centrist movement. Now, as you know, the people who don't want to be gay or lesbian or bi or transgender have rights too. And we never, as Democrats, wanted our party to turn into the LGBTQ party. I am at Twitch. If you want to go check me out, I'll show you what the link is. It's twitch.tv/CoolRockParty. We just started a few minutes ago. Yeah, and there's no party for us. So I said to Sarah, I said, I don't want to discriminate against gays. Thank you, other one. I don't want to discriminate against gays, and I don't want to do what Trump did and fire them from the military. So as president, I will retroactively hire all the transgenders that were fired if they want a job back. Trump fired them all. Yeah. I did comb my hair, but I was in the middle of a cooking show, so yeah, it's not exactly perfect. Sorry. I'll work on it later. Cool Rock Party was what we started many years ago. And in 2005, Sarah and I started this Cool Rock Party concept, and the design was to create solutions that will solve global climate warming. And since many of you don't believe global climate warming is happening, I drifted away from that, and I decided that global cooling was also an issue, and chemtrails were an issue. So being I am trying to solve the biggest problem of all, is why are they spraying us? I had to create a new party. So we created America's Third Party, and we take on all kinds of things that the two-party system does not take on. So we are ostensibly America's Third Party. You can also catch us at Twitter at Third Party. I am shadow banned over there. Been for 8 years. They've shadow banned me and locked my follower count. Same with YouTube. My subscription count has remained the same. Subscribers are the same number for the past 8 years. So I'm being heavily censored by the two main networks. So what we're doing is we're building a new media. And 10 years now has given us a tremendous amount of reach around the globe. And the new media we're building will provide daily news and entertainment like it does normally. We'll also be giving you commentary, which the mainstream media gives you in spurts, but mostly from the talking points of the New World Order. We want to give people all around the world a chance to think of the future with hope, as opposed to what we're seeing today, which is really, really unhappy, depression, feeling like listlessness, having no goals. I want to give people hope, and hopefully those goals will start to materialize in your mind when you see that you have opportunity. And that's something the Democrats and Republicans don't want to give you. In fact, they're going along with the idea that you don't even matter. They're willing to give illegal aliens money. They're willing to bring people in the country and tell them, hey, go ahead and pick social security numbers, anything you want, and collect money. And we just talked to you last night about a story where the IRS has found that a lot of people who are illegal are collecting millions and millions of dollars from the IRS with fake social security numbers. It makes a lot of us feel like we're next to useless. So what I'm trying to do is breathe new hope into our country and give you guys a chance for a future that won't be devastating for your children. We want to have a cleaner environment. I know all of us want to retain the beauty that is all around us, but we're seeing it slowly erode and destroy what we used to think was clean skies. And we're of the belief now that they're literally destroying the air we breathe, trying to poison us. They wouldn't be spraying these chemicals in our face every day if they didn't have a plan. And believe me, it's not just to control the weather, because we don't know what's in those chemicals. But studies have been done. They found that dangerous levels of barium and aluminum are in there, strontium, selenium. We also know that nanoparticles are in there, things that are designed to actually be miniature RFID chips so that they can monitor the weather. I mean, we're breathing nanoparticles, which is really, really weird. And they won't even answer to why they're doing it. The Democrats won't even ask. And now they're talking about how maybe we should do this. Maybe we should just spray stratospheric aerosol injection. So as you can see, the Democrats got it all wrong, and they haven't solved the homelessness problem. We also have a crisis with the Republicans who haven't yet built the wall. Now, Donald Trump ran under the idea that he'd have the wall built, but he hasn't done it. Steve Bannon showed that he could build a mile in 1 week, yet Trump doesn't have a mile of wall built. So what we're seeing is Trump stole the idea to get elected and then pretty much abandoned it. Now the New World Order is creeping back, and they don't care about a border fence. They want all of us to be mixed with everybody from south of the border. This is what's going on. 10 streamers get swatted live? Wow. Yeah, well, if they're bragging about it, I want to see this later. I'll watch it later. It's not something I want to, play in the show, though, because we were swatted, as you know. It's pretty bad. There's no government intervention at the highest level to tell these ridiculous cops, back off. You guys are way overboard. So, yeah, we're concerned about police brutality too. You see, we take on all the tough issues at America's Third Party. And we've been doing this for about 10 years, and we know the feeling that the American people have about being forced to be pulled over going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, harassed by cops all over the place. And that's something I am going to put a stop to. Cops will have to answer to me when they do things like that, and we will cut federal funding to police officers that don't patrol their patrol officers, that give them extra benefits when they beat people up. That won't happen anymore, or at least we'll try to make it stop. That was in 2015 we were swatted, so almost 4 years ago. Coming up July 22nd, it'll be 4 years. Well, you could claim that GPS is used to track the weather, but GPS nanoparticles are actually going into our lungs. They've done autopsies on people and they found nanoparticle fibers in our lungs. People that die from whatever, lung disease. Okay, what do you got? We don't take that, sorry. Okay. What I'm going to do right now is kind of ease into the Technology Thursday show because it was a pretty big cooking show I did. I made an amazing bacon pea tater salad. Yeah, I put peas and potatoes in it with bacon, and it's good. It really is. I added some hard-boiled eggs and great ingredients, and I think it'll be great. But yeah, let's check out the news. I'm picking up on where we left off yesterday. Trump and Bolton debate how to deal with Iran as Pompeo triangulates, official says. This is a case of the Three Stooges doing a dance in front of you after Donald Trump and Bolton and Pompeo made a big mistake claiming Iran attacked 2 tankers, in which the owner, a Japanese owner, said no, they weren't bombs, they were guns that fired into the hull above the water level. Yeah. So they're having to eat their words, and this big, huge push to start a war with Iran has been, in my opinion, a big diversion Trump has been doing to take our mind off of the real issue, which is he's still got collusion issues and obstruction issues. He's constantly obstructing. And he has been colluding, and many people are now suing for information about what he said to Russia during that time he fired James Comey. Donald Trump did the unthinkable when he fired James Comey. He actually invited the Russians into the White House for a private chat in which we know nothing about. And there was a video taken by the TASS news agency, but we never saw it. So if there was collusion going on, we should have seen what he said to those Russians, but he didn't show us anything. So since the allegations of collusion started, Donald Trump has not done anything to give us any transparency whatsoever. We have seen no notes, no recordings of his meetings with Putin, and essentially he's been hiding everything from us. So yeah, we've got a rogue government under Trump engaging in a very dangerous cat and mouse game with the Democrats, and the Democrats obviously can't do much at all because they're a lame duck party, and they're showing their uselessness right now while they can't even gather together impeachment forces and get their Speaker of the House to agree. Speaker of the House Pelosi is completely off the impeachment track. She just wants to make it go away, which makes her a deep state player, and that partly explains why she has over 120 million in net worth, which is bizarre. Okay, PC part picker, build your own PC. There you go. Hey, that's kind of a cool site. Look at that. You view the build guides. You can build an AMD or an Intel core. Look at how much more the Intel core is, 1704 over the AMD. I hear Intel is superior for video, so we've always used Intel for our show here. In fact, XSplit, the program I use right now, doesn't even work on an AMD processing chip. Yeah, weird, isn't it? Yeah, so AMD obviously is still not competitive with Intel on that level. I can look at the NHL NBA draft, but we don't cover it. We're not a sports channel, we're a politics channel, in case you didn't know. Again, is this the same Dizzy Rizzle? Okay, mini mix. I'll take a look at that stuff later, man. I just can't play that during a recorded broadcast because they automatically start. Yeah. They automatically start monetizing us when we do. Okay, it says Misanthropy has a link. Hey, Scissor Fight, welcome. And Meow TV, your link went to Facebook. That means they're going to track me on my timeline when I link on it. So they'll know I went to this site with Justin Trudeau and Donald Trump. Trump says Iran's U.S. drone shootdown may have been a mistake, but the country will not stand. Well, let's let him talk directly.
Mistake. This drone was in question.
Mr. President, there are two Canadians that are in jail in China right now.
Iran made a big mistake. This drone was in international waters. Clearly, we have it all documented. It's documented scientifically, not just words. And they made a very bad mistake. Okay?
Mr. President,
How will you respond?
You'll find out.
Are you willing to go to war with Iran?
You'll find out. You'll find out.
Mr. President, there are
Obviously, you know, we're not going to be talking too much.
One,
about it.
two.
You're going to find out. They made a very big mistake.
There are two Canadians that are in jail in China right now.
Who were detained, sir.
No concerns. We'll be discussing that. It'll be one of the issues that we'll be discussing right now with Justin.
The Fed made no change to the administration.
Say it?
The Fed made no change to the administration.
Well, I guess they indicated they're going to be wrong. Should have done it sooner, but what are you going to do? Can't win them all. You should have done it sooner, but can't win it all. I mean, eventually he'll do what's right, perhaps. Let's see what he does.
Obviously, we're very concerned with the escalation by Iran recently. We have significant presence in the area, including a naval mission in Baghdad and Iraq. We look forward to discussing with our closest ally the perspectives on this and how we can move forward as an international community.
Well, I don't know that he's trying to meet it. He's trying to get a meeting.
We've got a lot of things to discuss.
Well, otherwise, I'll represent him well. I will tell you. We have a meeting set up with
One, two.
and it's obviously on the big transaction that we're talking about and negotiating. People are actually speaking now. We'll see what happens with that. But anything I can do to help Canada, I will be doing.
Mr.
I would, at Justin's request, I will absolutely do it.
When USMCA is ratified, so will that be?
Don't say when.
When it is
Don't
ratified?
say when, because so far I have to get the Democrats to approve it. All right? So I like your positive thinking. But if, and the if is really subject to the Democrats, let's see what happens. But I really believe that Nancy Pelosi and the House will approve it. I think the Senate will approve it rapidly. It's going to be very bipartisan. It's great for the farmers, manufacturers. It's really great for everybody. And unions. It's great for unions. I mean, we have tremendous union support too. It's a tremendous, it really is, it shows a partnership between three countries. And it's sort of three countries in a trade sense. We're competing with the European Union, we're competing with China. It gives us a bigger dialogue, it gives us a much bigger platform.
You know, he's trying to paint this out to be some success when he literally screwed everything up in all directions. The arrest of Meng angered China. Imposing economic sanctions was a mistake. I said that from the beginning. Don't sign the treaty, but don't reimpose economic sanctions. You heard me say it. And he did that, and that caused China to create a lot of aggression toward us. They're simply responding to what happened to Meng. Yep. So that was a big mistake. And then on top of it, he doubled down on his decision about Iran, and he just started getting aggressive toward Iran unnecessarily. Even the military said it was not on Iran's fault. It's actually Trump's doing. Trump is fomenting aggression toward Iran. I think we all know that too. And I think he's caught in the crosshairs knowing full well that what he said and did was outlandish and doesn't fly. Iran is not trying to blow up tankers. So instead of admitting his faults, he is clearly just trying to prance his way through it with lies upon lies. Typical of his normal behavior. Yeah, horns are growing on young people's skulls. Really? Phone use is to blame? Wow, that's really weird. So cell phone use, the warnings have not been issued by the government on dangers of cell phone use among children or anyone. No public service announcements have been issued for Americans or anyone around the world. Yet we continue to use cell phones recklessly, holding them next to our head. Well, horns are now growing on young people's skulls, according to this expert whose phone use is the cause of this horn to be developed at the back of your skull. Nice. Mobile technology has transformed the way we live, how we read, work, communicate, shop, and date, but we already know this. We haven't yet grasped is the way the tiny machines in front of us are remolding our skeletons, possibly altering not just the behavior we exhibit, but the bodies we inhabit. Well, that's really an interesting article. Thank you for that. We'll have to take a look at that in just a bit. And India has deployed warships to the Persian Gulf amid heightened U.S.-Iranian tensions. See, this is what happens when Donald Trump makes decisions that are bad. He doubles down on bad decisions, and now they're really creating a cavalcade, a domino effect of multiple groups blocking the Strait of Hormuz with their warships. It's not strange. I do this right before the show. I do a comb this way, or a comb this way, and then right after Sarah gives me a break, I do the other comb. So it's just a flip I do. It kind of helps. It helps my my look change. So don't try to react. It's okay. Your world is not collapsing around you. My hair will change dimension later. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's from staring down at it from the cellular signals. Yeah. And the signals are probably triangulating up onto the phone and bouncing up and causing your bone to develop in the back of your head. They say that kids don't get REM sleep when they use a cell phone before they go to bed. That's how powerful the effect of these radio frequencies are in our heads. So we're really right now in a word of mouth wake up moment where we're telling everybody we can, making them aware of the dangers of cell phones next to your head. I know you see a lot of people holding cell phones next to their head, and you say, well, should I go up to them and ask them, tell them? Whenever you feel it's comfortable to talk to somebody and they're a friend of yours, they'll probably listen to you. I'm 6'4". Yeah, not 6'5".
Hey, I have a walk-in.
And a guy tried to punch Gordon Ramsay. A guy named Food is in our room giving us the links to our show tonight. We're putting a few Gordon Ramsay ones into the lineup. Gordon Ramsay's worst insults and a guy who tried to punch him. Okay, we'll look at that later tonight in our 10 o'clock hour, which will not be lasting more than a few days because we're going on vacation schedule this summer, where we will just do our live show from 6 to 8 or 6 to 9, depending on whether it's convenient for us. So when we travel, we have to do an abbreviated schedule, so we try to keep it to a 3-hour period. India probably feels threatened by Donald Trump. Everybody feels threatened by Donald Trump. He's not a person who's appeasing the world's problems. He's a person who's creating world problems left and right. And you Trump supporters really should know that this is an ongoing problem with Trump. That's why only 20, maybe at best 29% of the population like Trump. The rest hate him and are willing to do anything to vote for somebody else. That's why 24 Democrats are running, because they all think they can win against Trump. The Democrats have the numbers. Republicans are losing them because Trump's behavior is pushing people away from the Republican Party. And you Republicans should have known that. It's sad. I don't consume hardly any salt. No, I have under 2,000 milligrams of salt a day. So when you make statements, you better get your facts straight. You've been muted. Wow. The guy's a totally disrespectful person. I leave him on the show, but all he does is disrespect what we're doing. It's crazy. Okay, another story. We'll get back to the Reddit story that Misanthropy sent us. Let's do that in just a second. New York, California, high tax state exodus just beginning. So everybody's seeing the Democrats raise taxes in New York and California, and now everybody's leaving the states. And it's happening in Washington too. There's a lot of people worried about their property taxes. My property taxes have gone up on average $500 a year for the past 3 years. It's unbelievable. Next year I'll be paying $1,500 more than I paid 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It's crazy. So we're worried about the Democrats because they haven't cut their spending and they literally can't even meet their budget. Our government, under the Republicans too, is $1 trillion over budget with Trump. So financial rape is happening. And you know what? Another thing is going on. There is a telephone link ringing in the background. Hang on just a second. Hello? Oh, pretty good. Yeah. Sarah's not home yet right now. Thank you. She's yeah, definitely. You too? Wow. Oh. Right. Yeah, I imagine it's always that way every year. Well, I'll tell her you called and have her call you as soon as she gets home. So how's that? Oh, okay, great. Okay. Definitely, I'll tell her about it. We'll be down there as well. I'll give her the heads up on that and have her call you. No, it didn't work out. It's okay. I'm actually happy with that. So, yeah, she's good with it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I'll have her call you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, that was a local call, but even cordless phones, that contact with my ear right now, that actually had an effect on my DNA in my head. That's cordless phones put out that too. The compounder signal goes right to your cell phone. So there's an exodus of people leaving the state. That video didn't pop up on Fox for some reason. Fox Business takes a while to download. See if it'll pop up now. Well, I didn't want to be rude. We normally don't get calls here. But here it is.
Real estate prices in the Hamptons taking a hit. I think it's because of the Trump tax law that put a cap on state and local tax deductions. Joining me now, someone who disagrees with me. He's been on the show before, but he's never really disagreed with me. I don't know whether he's ever coming back. Noble Black, Douglas Elliman is with us.
Thanks for having me back.
Look, come on, let's get this straight. Sales down, takes a whole lot longer to sell these luxury properties, and that is because of SALT.
I disagree. I think SALT's certainly not helping, right? It's not anything that's
So what's the reason?
I think it's the Hamptons market traditionally follows the Manhattan market. Manhattan started slowing down about 6 quarters ago. I think you've got a lot of things at work in the Hamptons that are similar to what's going on in Manhattan.
Come on, man. Why should I or anybody else buy a house in the Hamptons or in New York City when I'm faced with a whopping great big increased tax bill?
Well,
Exactly.
Your taxes are going to be higher because of SALT in the Hamptons, but
I would not pay a cent more. I don't blame him one bit. I can tell you, I'm ready to go move to Missouri or Michigan or whatever. Seriously, the taxes are increasing so rapidly in these democratically led states because they can't finance their overspending. It's terrible. The SALT in the Hamptons. I know, I have to look it up. SALT in the Hamptons. I didn't know. So people like George Soros' son, the Hampton Salt Company is the perimeter provider of all natural sea salt. Oh, really? No. The SALT deductions. There's a story here. New York City home prices plunge after SALT deductions. Capped. Okay, here we go.
Real estate prices in the Hamptons taking a hit. I think it's because of the Trump tax law that put a cap on state and local tax.
New York City real estate prices are plummeting since the implementation of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which imposed a $10,000 cap on state and local tax SALT deductions. Okay. 2019 prices are down 5%. 2006 home prices were up 15%. It's not just Manhattan feeling the pain. However, pricey homes in the luxurious Hamptons are also starting to lose their value. Well, this is called over-government. Yeah. When you plan a public campaign rally, we can't. I get death threats all the time, and we get very few donations. Boeing is up 6 points today. Okay, good to know. Yeah, because we get very few donations, we cannot possibly keep up with your demand to see us in person. Yeah. If the donations had come in, I could have arranged security and rented a banquet room at the Mandalay Bay or something. But I wouldn't have done that after the tragic attack there. Well, thanks to taxes, we all have overpaid public services, overpaid military, overpaid police, and overpaid street and railway systems. You can continue all you want because every one of those people is overpaid. And frankly, we don't need them. We don't need park rangers who sit on their ass making $100,000 a year. Supervisors. We don't need a bunch of do nothing people sitting around offices that are currently occupied by our government that don't do anything but push pencils around. There's something wrong with your Democratic stance, guest 843. That's why I'm not a member of the Democratic Party. I actually liked it when Trump told an office that he wasn't going to pay for the personal management office of personal management. 150 people aren't going to get paid. I like that. Trump won me over on that one. It's like, yeah, don't pay those people. Screw them. Jobs are not necessary. It's not a misconception. In fact, I can tell you that right now, all the unnecessary work going on in my democratically held state shows me how inept my leaders are. Completely inept. We're putting roundabouts in when we don't even need them. We've had three roundabouts put in at a cost of $20 million in the past year in our area. Well, we don't know who's going to host the Sponheim Con 2019. If you do host an event, don't tell me about it because I'm not going to be there, except on a 4K TV, because I will televise the show with you. But I can't be a part of your fundraising opportunities for me. There's laws that restrict anything that I don't have control over, what I can actually know about it. So when I do a show, you could come in from that location and go on a 4K TV and say, hey, we got 2,000 people here watching you on a 150-inch TV or whatever, on a large widescreen. And I would talk to that audience, but I don't need to know the details because that would be a violation. They could put in, you could have an anti-Sponheim convention too. A Lot Lizard could put together like hundreds of thousands of people with all the money he's made and have an attack on me and just do a convention about how they dislike me so much. I can't control that either. You see how that works both ways. Now, that's legal, what I just said Lot Lizard could do. But what he's been doing, the doxing and the personal attacks, is not legal. Threats against my life, that's not legal either. I don't care how I stream, that's the point. The 5G network is inevitable. And I'm the one who's proposing safeguards to prevent the 5G network from being super dangerous. I'm not a zealot who believes that we've got to have 5G at all costs like Tom Wheeler is.
The United States will be the first country in the world to open up high-band spectrum for 5G networks and applications. And that's damn important because it means that U.S. companies
make more money. Exactly. So we are proposing a very simple plan, unlike Tom, who doesn't want to test it. We will be making sure that every junction box is safe, every repeater is safe, by installing Faraday cages over these units. Now that's something the government has not even talked about, but they have been proven to be effective in every single case of field radiation. Now since our government is way behind on the studies that have been done in India and other places regarding Wi-Fi and the dangers of electromagnetic field radiation, we can do better, and that's why I'm suggesting the 5G plus EMP safe system. which will actually prevent an electromagnetic pulse from affecting our electric grid. Our government right now doesn't have such a system in place. If an electromagnetic pulse happens, it blows past solenoids so fast that it burns and fries circuits, which then can't be turned on. And if we did get an EMP, like even a coronal mass ejection, which happened in the 1860s, when we had the Civil War, if it happens again, it'll shut our entire grid down, and all of our electricity will be down for a long time, maybe a year. So don't kid yourself. We need safeguards. Our 5G will work anyway, just like any other 5G network, but we want to make sure that it has less field radiation to affect the people near it. Now, right now, smart meters are causing brain cancer in people that sleep near the smart meters, and our government's done nothing to prevent that. I don't have high blood pressure at all, no. Then I have a fairly low salt intake, believe it or not. Like today, I didn't even add any extra salt to the dinner. And the only salt I put in was the turkey bacon, which you saw me rinse off under water before I cooked it. So I actually take a lot of care. There's some salt in the mayonnaise, but I take a lot of care not to add a lot of salt to the dinner. Yeah, I'm very cognizant of that. In fact, old people who eat frozen food are risking salt overdoses. It's not. My salt intake is not insane, and we're going to mute you every time you keep talking about that. I have less than 2,000 milligrams of salt a day, which is the standard amount most people should have. I actually have less than that. All right, so you have something on Reddit, right? Let's see. Yeah, I've got a link here somewhere on Reddit. Apparently it disappeared. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to repost that link on Reddit. Oh, here it is. There we go. I got it. All right, here, let's take a look at this. Logitech has some mice and keyboards as the Amazon deal of the day. Okay. Why did you send us a link to all these deals for RAM and things? Are you trying to help promote people to buy technology at Reddit? I would think you'd want to go to Tiger Direct or something. Yeah, is that your deal? Yeah, you really have to put salt on burgers, but not a lot of salt. But just to get that taste down, you really need it. Yeah. Of course. I like burgers. I think the meat industry is actually one of the most effective ways of making food. It does use more water and grain, but it's a very efficient way to make food. Livestock. They grow themselves. They literally eat the grass, and I actually am sold on the use of livestock, and the future of livestock is very, very strong. I'm not a vegan. Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
If you want to take a break and do that, talk to her. She called.
Okay.
Yeah, take a break and.
Are you sure? Don't you want to?
No.
I can do it at 7-ish, 7:30.
Okay, as long as you remember to call.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, Huawei controls all the data that goes through their towers to be used by China. You're right. And we're obviously going to have to lead in the 5G sector on safety, because we haven't quite led in terms of the number of connectors that we have. 5G is growing rapidly in Asia, but we need to focus on safety and alert people around the world to what safety could mean for the 5G network, because we don't have safety handled right now. So did you have a nice lunch today? Did they give you something?
Yes, I had. Well, I just had a sub sandwich and some chips.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I have some stuff, and I have a couple cookies in my lunchbox, but that was just a small lunch. It wasn't a big deal.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Okay, Texas gained almost 9 Hispanic residents for every additional white resident last year. Very interesting. The complexion of the Texas populace has changed.
I did not salt my lunch, but my chips were salty.
Yep. So Hispanics are on pace to soon represent a plurality in Texas, as well as in certain other states like California. But we still have, I will comb my hair while I'm gone. Yeah, I comb it the other way when I get back. Thank you.
Habla Español, Bangolitis. Oh. No, I don't know how to say anything in Chinese. You're ahead of me there. I took Spanish for 3 years, but that's it. You'll just have to wait and see, Victory. I'll tell you when I'm all done with my vacations. That's how I like to do it. I don't like to tell you where I'm going in advance. I like to tell you where I've been. Hello, New York PD1. No, I will not be traveling outside of the country. I will tell you that much. All within the borders of the United States, and I'll even limit it to the contiguous United States. Oh, did David? Then you tell me what he said. No, I'm just kidding. I will neither confirm nor deny what he told you, Apollon. I was thinking about confirming, but then I decided, what if David really didn't, and then you're just trying to get information from me. I will neither confirm nor deny anything. Hello, Scissor Fight. Hugs to you. I had a good last day. I actually went... Only teachers like me actually go to learn more on their last day of school. So my day today was from 9, actually before school, had to do a couple cleaning things, and then 9 o'clock we went out, and this lady that's she's retiring after 40 years of teaching. She always wanted to ride the fire truck to school. And so they arranged it to have her ride the fire truck to school. And so she came in so we had the whole school went out to the front of the school to watch her arrive on the fire truck. Oh, okay. And then, none. She's an amazing teacher. And then, yeah, it was very cool. And she's a kindergarten teacher, and they had like the kindergarten kids in little fire hats. So adorable. And they took some pictures. And then we went into the classroom, and a couple kids shared things. A couple kids gave me some gifts. And oh, right. She has one rule in her 40 years, so maybe I should just adopt her rule. Be a friend. That's her rule. Which I like that. And yeah, we went inside, did that, took attendance, and then we went to like an hour-long award ceremony. And then the kids went out for a little bit of recess. Then we went back into the classroom, and I read to a little of like the beginning of Charlotte's Web. And that is what David typed, yes. And then, after that, we went into the classroom. Yeah, I read him Charlotte's Web. Then we went out and had like a picnic lunch out in our native plant garden. And it's so cute because there's this like tree that they had chopped down, but then it started growing around like the center root. And it has like all these awesome, it's like my hand, like the branches are like all sticking out. And the kids were like climbing up in the tree. And I took so many pictures of them in their tree. And I have to put them in a shared drive and send it one last email to parents about that. My friend just gave me these earrings yesterday because I do so much work in the garden. Let's see. It says sunflower power. Yeah, exactly, 962. Well, everything we have is under surveillance all the time. No, corporal punishment is for teaching, and the teaching profession is illegal in Washington state. I know they still allow it in other states, I believe. I hope not. I hope they've all gone in the same direction as Washington state. Because you know what? Corporal punishment is not needed. Students and people in general do not correct their behavior just because of corporal punishment. That doesn't make them improve their behavior. Teaching them how to behave helps them improve their behavior. No, you don't, Apollon. That's why you said you didn't like your education. Exactly, 962. Okay. All right. I'm so sorry that you guys had experienced that. Wow. I am so sorry, Victory for Cake and all of you people. I'm glad that corporal punishment is illegal for teachers. I think it's people are rational beings and you can talk to them. It takes a very strong person to teach these days. I guess give it to me again and I'll open it without... Wait, this is it. Okay. Yeah. Cite your sources. Washington Post. You mean 51, Mad Dog. Seriously. don't want to. I've run out of free. I'll leave it open. Maybe David, Australian researchers. Yeah, now that's illegal too, Victory. Thankfully. Anyway. I've had it was a good day. It was so fun to have a little picnic outside. And then it just worked out perfect. One of my, one student has a baby brother, and he doesn't come to visit very often, the baby brother, and his baby brother happened to come in, and he's like, can I invite my dad in with my baby brother? And I just had like the last 15 minutes, and I knew the kids were like, ready to go wild. I'm like, I need you guys to wipe down the tables, the desks, and I said, sure, your baby brother could come in, and his dad's like, okay, if you sit on the carpet, you can hold him. And then I said, okay, everybody on the carpet, and I'm going to give my microphone to the quietest kid sitting on the carpet, and then you can look at the baby and tell the baby something that they should learn between now and when they're a baby and when they're in second grade. That was adorable. Yeah, have it all up in a... There you go. There's my hair. I just thought that was adorable. Oh, someone talked to you and you answered? I know it's difficult not to answer them. Phone use to blame. That's odd that the phone use is to blame. Who knows? All our teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. What do you want to learn, Pirate? How to be a better person? I am a pretty amazing teacher. My fellow teacher was saying how she really appreciated me as a teacher. I did not get a haircut. It's all still here. Well, now we do. We have integration as much as possible. No thanks. Does it have online video that you can see? I thought it had iVlog video. Yeah, like David Wright, the Vaughn pop-out chat is there. David is reading everything you type. Yes. All right, I think I'll take a quick look at the news. Trump and Bolton debate how to deal with Iran as Pompeo triangulates, according to officials. I hope they don't go to war. Hope Hicks says she told white lies about small matters. She refuses to talk about Trump White House at a hearing. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, you think iVlog video is better? I'm back on.
Okay. I think iBlog video with Flash is more functional. I don't think HTML5 is working properly on Vaughn because of the coding issue. I see the problems with coding on Vaughn. The errors pop up, so I think it takes a little longer for HTML5 to work on Vaughn. Thank you. All right, I'm going to plug this in. And thank you. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's down. It's ready to go. It's just I think I may need the more deluxe version.
Okay.
I'll get that tomorrow.
Hi, Big Outlaw. How are you doing, my math friend? Today I went to math training, which, why did I go to the math training? Well, to get access to the new curriculum so I can plan my next year over the summer. But I did have fun. I do like math. And I did like, one of the things I like about my new curriculum is that they have lots of access to lots of data, which is going to be pretty cool. I really like that they are encouraging, one of the things I really like about my new curriculum is that it encourages mathematical talk instead of just like solve this problem, solve this problem, solve this problem. It's more about like number talks and math puzzles and trying to figure out things. They said, anyway, I really like it. 2 plus 2 has changed a lot over the years. It's not about 2 plus 2, but it's about having like 4th graders solve problems like there were 16 rows with 28 in each row. How many chairs did they need for the assembly or for the play? That kind of problem. Aha, Saffron. Oh, thanks. Udemy, new CompTIA 2019 comp. Oh, a new one? A+ 2019 certification. It's $13. Oh, Mike Myers. My dad said Mike Myers is really good. My dad told me about Udemy, yeah. How to repair and configure mobile devices, all about hardware, monitors, CPUs, motherboards, and hard drives, RAMs, and more. That's probably good. No specific prerequisites. Good. CompTIA recommends having 9 to 12 months of on-the-job experience before taking the A+ exam. Recommended but not required. It would be kind of a fun course to do, maybe when I come back. Or, I mean, maybe when I'm done with my summer. But yeah, that's a good idea, because I was thinking, should I go back to school and get like a data scientist, a data analyst bachelor's degree, and why not just like get all of the certifications instead? I like that. Yeah, it's all about making math fun, and also making kids discuss and think and ask questions, and those are the kinds of things. You're like almost a professor with all this schooling. Yes, and maybe I will do that someday. Maybe. All right, yeah. McConnell says a measured response is coming. Hunter Biden has been accused of fathering a child with an Arkansas woman. Okay. Yeah, it said hand painted, I think in China, but I still really like, yeah, I like these earrings. The Supreme Court's giant cross compromise will erode separation of church and state. The Supreme Court ruled that the Peace Cross War Memorial can stand. A Florida city paid hackers $600,000 in Bitcoin to get their computer systems back. They paid the ransom for the ransomware.
I couldn't believe that story.
You know, I'm going to ask that you stop posting all these links, Food. Thank you.
Was it $600,000 they paid?
Yeah, $600,000.
And that was the University of
No, it's some city in
some city. Wow. Unreal.
in Florida. Oh, cool. I don't want digital access. Let's see. That's cool. Slack is now worth more than $20 billion. Wow. Slack has an initial public offering. Wow. Slack has its debut. $23.2 billion. Slack. I guess I've got my next stock to buy. Federal Reserve's quick pivot to easier policies started with a Trump tweet on trade. And Trump believes he has the authority to replace Powell at the Fed. And Facebook has a Libra cryptocurrency. It says it won't be as power hungry as Bitcoin. Google says it's done making tablets and it cancels its 2 unreleased products. And Amazon has launched its first inexpensive Fire TV televisions with Dolby Vision support. Wow. All right. Yeah, 21 billion. Remember times companies were worth hundreds of millions instead of billions, and it's only 6 years old. I remember when Slack was coming out. Chat is lagging. Yes, I finished today at 12:50. Well, I finished with the students at 12:15, and then I went to school myself, more training. It was optional, but I want to know what I need to teach next year, so I want early access to it. So I decided to go ahead and get the early access. But now I'm totally done. Cleaned up my classroom, everything. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks. Yes. I know. I wish there were more teachers like me. I wish I could clone myself just to have more teachers like me out there. Not really, but I mean, yes, I do wish we had more teachers like me out there. Yeah, this is all over science, I guess. Can you get horns from a smartphone use? Some problems our devices cause. A study documenting bone spurs that resemble horns growing on human skulls gains widespread media attention recently, following a recent BBC report showing possible future impacts of technology in the human skeleton. The spurs form as pressure is exerted on the neck and spine when looking down at a smartphone. Oh. Researchers say. They warn people should be worried about more than the spurs. The bump is a sign of sustained terrible posture, which can be corrected quite simply. Many common health issues such as carpal tunnel syndrome, eye strain, have been amplified in the smartphone age. Check your neck. After inspecting hundreds of x-rays of adults aged 18 to 30, a study published last year in Nature Research Journal from 2 Australian researchers found bone growths on the back of nearly half of their heads. Media reports have widely said that those growths look an awful lot like horns. Wow. Wow. It's, yeah, but it's in the back of your neck. I guess it's like horns growing out, like, I don't know, like rams or something. Misanthropy is so tired of what they call science. Science. The spurs do not protrude from the head. They can be felt in some cases. Let's feel. Everybody feel your neck. I can feel my in my neck back in here. I was in an accident when I was a kid, and my neck is not aligned all the way. Yeah. I do have 2 ears. Ooh, when smart devices watch you, what do they do with the data? I told you stop putting in links. You're in a car accident as well. Tech neck is caused by spending too much time in text position. The more you tilt your head forward and down, the more gravity increases the weight to your neck, increasing the pressure exerted. Wow. If your ears are not aligned with your shoulders. Are my ears aligned with my shoulders? Yeah, I think they are. If I was like this, then my ears would not be aligned with my shoulders. My ears are aligned with my shoulders. Oh my goodness, Misanthropy. No, I never have, Mad Dog. Have you? I definitely have never done that. Never want to do that. Never will do that. Texter's thumb, you can get... It used to be called gamer's thumb. Caused by too much tapping and swiping. Repetitive stress injury that leads to cramping and discomfort in the thumb and lower hands, which can worsen into thumb arthritis. I do have that. It's not like in here, right in here, but it's not from texting. It's actually from cleaning my deck. Long story. Thumb arthritis can require surgery. I don't think I have thumb arthritis. It hasn't been linked yet to smartphone use. No, I don't do that, Mad Dog. Phantom vibration syndrome. If you're worried that you're missing out on a lot of notifications and you find out your phone hasn't vibrated at all, you're not alone. Our brains are being rewired to worry about who's tweeting and messaging you. Crazy. Not that I know of. I'm not aware of that, Mad Dog. Why? Maybe it is David. It looks like David. Sure, I think so. I do like sometimes those day in the pictures. Okay. Alright, sorry, Thor killed Cernic. Okay, how's summer going? Yes, isn't it officially the first day of summer? I think so. I think it is. All right. Good evening, Mick Dundee, if I didn't say hi to you earlier.
Okay.
Okay, David.
Help yourself to those fish sticks if you want any. Have as many as you want. And there's also Brussels sprouts and a little burger back there. If you want.
Oh,
And potato
thank you.
salad if you want that.
Oh, thank you.
There's lots of goodies.
Lots
It's like a
of goodies.
smorgasbord back
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Yeah, I was going to tell you something. Okay. Welcome. Yeah, I'd love to be able to start a smorgasbord of sorts, especially at the White House. That'd be great. Dave's Buffet. Yeah. Even Donald Trump could eat there. I suppose we could make him fish fillets. Yeah. Of course, he'll be probably busy with his lawsuits. There's a lot of people who are concerned that maybe Donald Trump is going to be sued by New York State when he gets out, which probably will happen. That guaranteed. He's done enough to commit criminal acts that they say he's going to be charged. Transgender woman accused of sexually assaulting inmates. That's weird. Hey, Thor, how's it going? Yeah, math hurts everybody's head. That's what makes it math. It's like a muscle. Your brain has to use your math muscle, and if you don't want to use it, it hurts, you know? It's no different. Everybody faces a lot of trials and tribulations with mathematics. Even people that are really good at it, because they take on tougher problems. Yang is, if he wins the Democratic nomination, definitely count me in for $1,010 a month, because I think he took my basic income idea I came up with Sarah in 2012, and he doubled it, which really is unsustainable, but I would have to cut the military dramatically in order to pay for $1,010 per every citizen. He wants to give it to illegal aliens too. Yeah, I know. He stole the idea. Yeah, and Pompeo is on record, and I played this 3 or 4 times last week. You probably saw it. But this is Pompeo, our Secretary of State, rather, who is on record saying he lied, he stole, he cheated. And this is the guy we got running point. No wonder the world considers us a buffoon nation.
I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like, we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
The glory of the American experiment. What a joke. I don't know how anybody can pawn that off as okay. Unless he's hanging out with Tony Soprano at the Bada Bing club, you know. So I understand somebody, you know, got a concrete sandwich. What do you want to talk about? Doesn't he look like one of those Soprano guys? Hey, check this out. 43 BC progression. Okay, take a look at what happened in Rome in 43 BC. And make it look like America today. How sad, but written in 43 BC in Rome, so true today. Cicero of the Roman Empire wrote, "The poor work and work, the rich exploit the poor, the soldier protects both. The taxpayer pays for all three, the banker robs all four, the lawyer misleads all five, the doctor bills all six, the goons scare all of seven, the politician lives happily on account of all eight." It's written in 43 BC, but valid even today. Wow. We haven't changed. The human society has not evolved. All this talk of democracy and socialism and all those great noble concepts were corrupted by greed. Every form of economics that Marx produced was corrupted by greed, and he never took that into consideration. He thought we'd all like willingly succumb to be workers within the worker Borg, and we'd all give up our property, and there'd be no problem with that. His world must have been, you know, like a complete abstract delusion. This is less than a republic and more of a, I believe, a plutocracy. A republic would have representative democracy at the very least, and we don't have that. We have a group of puppets that just do whatever they're told. Whoever pays their bills. Hey, you want to cut back on the links a little bit? Yeah, you're coming in too fast with the links. I can't possibly absorb them at the rate you're bringing them. Food. Some of them are good. Others are a little bit over the top. Not really. We don't have a representative democracy, is my point. And if an aristocratic republic exists where the aristocracy is firmly in place, that's hidden because we have parvenu plutocrats like Donald Trump who ascended in power and wealth over the past 150 years. A true aristocratic republic would have people with families 500 years old. And truly, that is what's happening in the world. They're talking about a new world order. It's really just the old monarchy rebranded as a new world order. And we're really trying to fight it. We don't want our nation to succumb to a new world order, just like we don't want your nation, whatever nation you're in around the world, to succumb to a new world order. We believe that that is what is causing all this strife. Even the differences between the Jews and the Muslims, you can trace it to the origin of the Zionist directive in the 1890s. And how they drifted from the core values of the Torah and Jewish people. They veritably exploited it. They exploited the core values of the Jewish people and then went on and made it seem like they were greedy, and they're not. Jewish people are not innately greedy. The Zionists are, the ones who've taken over our country and Russia. But we're really dealing with a new world order, and we need a leader who can guide us out of that pathway. And I will be that person. I'll build up the framework of our nation's economy so it's more self-sufficient without remaining an isolationist nation, which Trump will leave us in. We'll still be doing global trade, and I'll open up doors to trade with countries like China and even Iran. I'll begin the process of smoothing out that terrible flaw that Trump is exploiting right now. We have this past aggression with Iran that he seems to just have as a go-to plan because John Bolton thinks that's the way to go. And he hates Iranians. You know, I see it more as a practical application. I've had dealings with Iranians myself in business, and I can tell you they're out to screw you. I'm just telling you. They are. But you have to go into the negotiation understanding that's their culture. Whoever gets the most from whoever else wins in that culture, no matter how you get it. And you just have to understand the Iranian people. They respect it when somebody lies to them. They consider that like you fooled somebody. You're amazing. You can fool people. Because Iran is at the center of the original trade routes that were at the very core of early civilization. The Phoenicians were essentially where Iran is today. David, I'm concerned about how much video there is of you that even if you were to win, they could replace you the next day. I'm not going to pull back any video, and frankly, all the video they have on me, if indeed they want to replace me, they would have to ultimately get through certain barriers, like the obvious mole I have here, or the mole I have on my hand right here. Yeah, I have some facial unique features that they couldn't duplicate. What can I do to prevent that? Insulate my entire core group at the White House. I won't be going to Camp David because I'd rather go to David's camp myself. I just don't believe that anything's really safe outside the White House. I do believe that they have the ability to grab somebody and duplicate them and put a clone or a robot in their place. That's getting very, very real right now, unfortunately. But we still have to forge forward with that reality that I could be, attacked and replaced by some God knows what, or even CGA. Thanks, you're so kind. But I can tell you that there's a big problem with that type of technology. It'll glitch out, and you'll see the glitches no matter what. You'll notice that all of our videos are smooth, and I don't have any major problems with the signal. You're not seeing dramatic alterations in the video signal like that. Yeah, well, unfortunately, we have to do this. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's necessary. If I had the ability to replace the government with a brand new government of intelligent people who are willing to share and open up discussion on every issue, we would rectify the problems that we have right now rather quickly. It's the fact that the system is stifled. I can't even get mainstream media attention. That's the problem with our country right now. The system is keeping good, intelligent people from getting to the forefront, and instead allowing suck-ups like Andrew Yang and all the other candidates under Biden that are all trying to, fit into the Democratic model, which has already failed us. The Democrats want to go too far to the left. They want to embrace communism and socialism rapidly. They want to make us all lesbian, gay, bi, transgender. And they want to make that normal. They want to normalize deviancy. And I just don't want to go in that direction. So I'm not pro-LGBTQ, but I don't want discrimination either. I am worried about the homeless population. I want to correct the problem with these people who are in our inner cities that are close to 100,000 in every city right now and growing. We've got to get ahead of this with good quality services before it turns into a bubonic plague. They're saying LA could be the breeding ground for another plague. I know that sounds bizarre, but we're going to have to get services to these people. The Democrats are falling way short. They can't even build a bathroom in Nancy Pelosi's district. I mean, a simple thing like a bathroom. And then they want to charge tons and tons of money for that. Calm down. I mean, you just sent me about 50 links. What do you mean, calm down? Yeah, Pelosi's Plagueopolis. That's a good use of words, Newtel. So a lot of the issues that the Democrats and Republicans are now known for are really abhorrent to me. The Republicans want to give tax breaks to the rich, and it's cost us $5.5 trillion over the next 10 years, based on their current laws that they're putting in place. We just lost $5.5 trillion as a nation, while Trump is going to put us $5.5 trillion in debt. So that's a $11 trillion loss in 4 years. Let's just round it off to 10 trillion. He lost us $5 trillion in revenue and 10 trillion in spending. So we're going to be very close to $30 trillion in debt by the end of Trump's little disastrous presidency. And this is on the heels of a disastrous 8 years with Barack Obama, the known homosexual Muslim married to a transgender. I mean, he was a puppet president if there ever was one. So clearly the American people haven't had their own person born among the people as president. Because I know that if you and I were to sit down and hash these things out, we'd probably be able to fix these problems rather quickly. But unfortunately, we don't have people like you and I. We have suck-ups, kiss asses. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She turned a blind eye to Ocasio-Cortez just because Ocasio said that these immigrants are being warehoused in concentration camps. That's exactly what they're being warehoused in. We are engaged in human rights abuses right now at the southern border, and nobody's able to look into this because Donald Trump has moved people from ICE-approved locations to military installations. It's happening right now as we speak. Hey, building a free pallet wood outhouse in the woods with a free pallet. Well, that's kind of cool. This guy's going to build an outhouse for free in the woods. It's going to take 20 minutes for us to watch it, but I'm sure it took a couple days. But he takes pallets you can get for free, and he built an outhouse out of it. Let's look at the finished product. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, he's got the composting toilet in there, and he's... Okay, cool. We'll add that to Technology Thursday, because oftentimes technology is just surviving and building something that you and your family can live in. I'm all for relaxing the Department of Health laws on composting toilets. He's out. He's building a house. That's right. Electoral vote map. There's room for change. Toss-up is 110 plus more if ATP gets on the board. You know, if ATP got 1 minute of airtime, it would be a miracle. Remember, they're completely knocking everybody out of the field who is a third party, and they've kept us down big time. And we've been trying diligently to get any kind of coverage, but they continue to pay people to stop us on our show. All right, here's the electoral map. The spread is all the fairly unpopulated states besides Texas and maybe Georgia are going to vote Republican, according to the stats, and the Democrats are going to still retain the East and West Coast for the most part. Although Maine is still drifting an independent area with one electoral vote, could be Republican. They've got LePage, who is an absolute barrier to growth in that state. LePage has vetoed legalized marijuana plans, which are already approved by the people of Maine. He's vetoed them twice. They're still trying to build recreational marijuana stores. They can't even get off the ground with LePage. It's just unbelievable what this guy's able to do as governor of Maine. So we're looking at a pretty even split across the board. More Democrats than Republicans, with 106 in toss-up area. So that means swing states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. All this could be swing state time. Yeah. But then again, this isn't showing the real picture. Remember, only about 45% of the people in the country actually vote. The rest don't vote. So 55% of the population does not vote. Now, if we were to grab a portion of those people and get them to vote for a third party, we actually could change the dimension of this map entirely. We could convert every red state to a green state, an America state, or an ATP state. Now, the Green Party did okay, but they have stupid candidates that just don't have practical sense for business and how the economy works. All right. We're going to have to, I'm going to mute you now because you've given enough of the links and I've asked you to stop link and you keep doing it. Everything you're posting me is some English tragic drama or bizarre act. I think I've had enough. Thank you. Yeah, just too much on the links. Yeah, Scissorfight brought a link in earlier. It showed that people were growing horns on the back of their head from using cell phones. Now, technology's great. Don't get me wrong. I love technology, but yeah. My cat Fluffy has something. Okay, Elvis Bossa Nova. Okay. Yeah, so this picture of a bone growth in the back of their head from a cell phone is very indicative of a changing skeletal pattern in human beings. Okay, let's take a look at the guy dancing. Take your mind off that. But don't hold the cell phone next to your head much, otherwise you will encounter bone growth in the back of your head. A little horn will start popping out. I think this is more of like a woman's, video that women like to look at. It's kind of like female porn with a guy with pants on. Yeah. Because clearly he's just, undulating his body around and acting like, it's like a her fantasy, yeah. I think this is what happens when you have a little too much testosterone. Oh yeah, you really should, but you don't care enough. You're still worried that you have testicular cancer. Oh, I'm sorry, did I bring that up? Sorry, I won't mention it. Well, the polls were wrong when Donald Trump went against Hillary Clinton, but at the time the polls were not aware of the Russian interference in our election, so I think we have to recognize the fact that anything can happen, especially if Russia continues to interfere. And because no one stopped Russian interference, I'm going to put this out there and say that Donald Trump has an edge because he has Russia helping him. And I think that's a qualified statement. I don't think there's any disagreement on that. We know that Russia rigged the election in favor of Donald Trump and they didn't bother with a re-election, so it's safe to say that they're going to help. Russia's going to do everything they can to get Donald Trump to win again. They're already paying Mark quite a bit, I understand. And I believe that they did try to hack some of the Diebold voting systems that are hackable. We have technology out there that's you can jack up a USB 2 to it, or USB 3 drive to it. Actually, it's USB 2. And you can manipulate all the votes from that district. That's how vulnerable these things are. And the people that have shown us how to do it online say, yeah, you do a system reset and you can hack into the entire system and give it whatever vote it wanted. It's like, why didn't they build safeguards for this? Just like Microsoft and many of the other operating systems that are out there, except of course Linux, were always very vulnerable. Microsoft succeeded because they had unlimited memory storage and lower priced memory sticks and hard drives. Without that, they never would have succeeded because they literally had to create a mountain of code to correct their mistakes. So when you start your Microsoft Windows application up, it's gone through 10 different reformations. And every single time they still have backdoors that somebody could hack into and exploit. And Microsoft acts like they're doing everything they can to back up their systems. Microsoft needs to be sued by the government. The Justice Department needs to sue Microsoft for lost revenue. They've been sucking us dry. The government has been forking over contract money left and right to Microsoft for decades. And in the process, Bill Gates became very wealthy. And on that note, he doesn't even know what he's doing. And many of the people working there are clueless. I've talked to people who work at Microsoft. Look what they're doing to Skype right now. Mismanaging everything from the backbone of security to its operationability. It's veritably a joke. Skype used to be great. Now you can't even go on there without any security. Yeah, so these companies made a lot of money and they acted like they were really smart, coders and everything, but they didn't even know what they're doing. And now all of us are vulnerable to Russian hackers into our computers. They could be mining us as drones for their next attack in 2020. We don't even know. Huang Wang is sending messages of balls. Well, you guys have a personal animosity toward each other that goes deep. No, Mark is now saying things to correct the fact that he's admitting censoring me. Mark is talking in circles. He's been doing that ever since he started admitting he made money censoring us. Then he said he wasn't censoring us. Then he said he was making tons of money and acted like it was a joke. Now he's saying he censors us only because I say he censors us. This guy's a typical liar who's lying over and over again, back and forth, trying to cover his tracks. The entire story that they make tons of money has been perpetrated as a joke, when in reality it's true. They do. They make lots and lots of money doing this and attacking me. Our show has been knocked down in so many different areas, but we keep popping up. Yeah, be careful. The right disguise themselves as libertarians and nominated people like Gary Johnson, right? I fought to keep this third party going against people like Gary Johnson, while the left acts ridiculous. Well, thanks, Summit City Alt. I can tell you this show has a huge audience, well beyond our show's chat rooms. We broadcast on UHF around the world and reach millions and millions of people every day. And my effort has been completely censored in the media. That should give you a real clear understanding of the censorship and what they're afraid of with a real America's third party. So don't think for a second that we aren't facing huge obstacles to even deliver a message to you, because we are. And we haven't had a lot of donations. Most places would have closed down years ago for lack of donations, because our U.S. audience that we can only receive donations from has been limited to viewing our show. It's been an unbelievable challenge to fight against the censorship that you may not even be aware of. Most people are unaware of it. My Twitter account flatlined 9 years ago. We got initially about 500 supporters, and then we flatlined, and we got a guy to help us, and then we flatlined again. And I've had people going in there saying they can't even access my third-party show at third party all around the world. We're being shadow banned over there. And on YouTube, our subscriber count flatlined 9 years ago as well. We had we had 20,000 views in 1 week. It's even on there, you can see it. And then we got 2 views the next week, right after they imposed restrictions back in 2009, a thing called the Penguin Update, in which they got rid of a lot of patriots or liberals, either way. Mostly during that time it was patriots, because Barack Obama was president. People that were supportive of a patriotic view. And yeah, those people did fall into the Tea Party. And most of them are alt-right people clinging to the QAnon mentality right now, which is not really giving them any real solid proof of anything. Yeah, Food should post Cool Rock. That's right. And don't keep posting anything related to me, because it's not related to me. Dave, why do you post a link called Cool Rock? I don't. Yeah. That's not what I post. I posted this for people that want to get into our show at Cool Rock Party. They just came off of a 5-year IP ban on Twitch. We just reinstated our show. 5 years we were IP banned for a violation of homophobia, which was completely made up. Capital Gain had a thing against me at the time and claimed that, he IP banned me, and his terms of service had this thing against homophobia. And I'm not a homophobe. I just don't like sexual harassment. And everyone who came in said, "Are you gay?" And I'm like, dude, that's sexual harassment if a person's heterosexual. And they called me out as a homophobe. So that's how it happened on Twitch. Trump and Trudeau met, and Trump is trying to backpedal out of his BS story about wanting to attack Iran because they bombed 2 tankers. They didn't bomb 2 tankers, they had gunfire. And instead of admitting that he was wrong, Trump is now backpedaling and acting with Trudeau like he's working on a new plan, and it's all in flux. Whenever he makes a mistake, everything's in flux. So now we go back to this guy, bumbling idiot who doesn't know what he's doing, trying to renegotiate a plan that was already in place with Obama.
It's really good for all three. It's something that's very popular. I hope politically they can do what they have to do. Now, a day after the election, they would win with a tremendous support. But we have an election coming up. But I think Nancy Pelosi is going to do the right thing.
Will that be the end of tariffs on Mexico?
Well, we'll see. I mean, they have to do what they have to do. We understand that. We can't have big, tremendous shipments of certain products, but we understand that very well.
We were very pleased with the lifting of the tariffs on steel and aluminum.
They've been lifted, as you know, and there won't be hopefully transshipping. If there's transshipping, I'll call Justin and he'll take care of it. And if he doesn't take it, I'll probably call him a second time, and if he doesn't, then we'll have to talk, right? But I think that situation is very well taken care of. Very important for both countries and for all three countries, the farmers, very, very important. More so in that case from us and Canada. But the farmers are really happy with it. The manufacturers are very happy. Mexico is thrilled. We saw the vote. It was a very lopsided in a positive way vote, a great vote. And I think it's going to be something very special. Again, it's the largest trade deal by far ever entered into, and we're very close to having finalized it. It means a lot of jobs for our country, a lot of wealth for all three countries, and we're really competing against the world. You know, we're not competing with each other so much. This brings us into a position where we're not competing with each other. We're competing against the world, and that's what we're doing. We're competing against big sections of the world, including Asia.
You know, his method of speaking is to repeat himself 15 times in a 2 or 3 minute period. Every single thing he says is over and over again in slightly different ways, which is interesting. He does his speeches like in front of a lot of people this same way. And it's great for repeat messaging, especially if you have nothing going on in your head, you know, and the last thing you're thinking about is the Russian connection. The problem with a lot of Republicans is they've completely dispensed with the Russian connection. They actually think that Putin had nothing to do with anything Trump has done over the past 2 years, whereas Putin has gotten huge breaks. No sanctions have been imposed for the most of 1.5 years. No sanctions were imposed. To this day, only a few sanctions are imposed. Russia managed to somehow get Saudi Arabia some missiles to destabilize the Middle East, causing the price of oil to gradually go up. They want that. They want higher priced oil. Russia does. Yeah, and Russia seems to be getting their way with us hating on NATO. Trump has been hating on NATO, which helps Russia quite a bit. Russia's really winning with Trump as their puppet. And the Republicans just can't see that. It's amazing. Trump is trying to lay the groundwork for a North American Union, also part of the New World Order, part of what Russia is working diligently with. Russian oligarchs work with the New World Order all the time. Russia got taken down many years ago when Ronald Reagan, he simply said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." But that wasn't the real picture. George H.W. Bush was working behind the scenes to manipulate tons and tons of money. There's evidence that George H.W. Bush took out a bond issue of $240 billion to undermine the economy of the Soviet Union. In 1991, September 11th, 1991 to be exact, George H.W. pulled out a bond issue of $240 billion, and he used that to undercut the entire Soviet economy. And that was how the New World Order acted through George H.W. Bush to destroy the Soviet Union. Now they took that country down, and now they control their leader, Vladimir Putin, who by all intents and purposes may not even be real. We showed pictures of an imposter last week. You've already seen the New World Order. It's happening all around us. In our lifetime, we're already seeing it. Our own president, George H.W. Bush, talked about a New World Order back in 1992. So we're already seeing aspects of it. The globalization is part of it. We can easily have a global economy without having global governance. And we can even have global communication without having global governance. There's no reason why the nation-state model would be taken out. But these really rich people just want to get rid of it, just like Hitler did, just like Caesar tried to do. Yeah, just like Napoleon. They all want dominance, and every single time they try to do this, they fail. Even in our era, they will fail again. Because nation-states manage regions better than global governance, period. Jordan Peele's using AI to make Barack Obama deliver a PSA about fake news. Yeah, I've seen this done many times. It's going to be the thing. But 2020 is going to be full of fake news. We won't be able to tell what is true and what's not. Yeah, they're getting very sophisticated at what they're doing.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. And stay woke, bitches.
You know, I would love to expose the real underbelly of the Obama administration. He might as well have been completely CGI for all we care. I mean, you look at his wife, who's a dude. Case in point. Yeah, Michelle Obama is, I know, hard to admit, a dude. Okay, there's the money shot right there. You're looking at a man with a penis and a testicle under a jumpsuit made by, I believe it's Pierre Cardin. Okay, now back to the normalcy of our show. Yeah. So we've been deceived by a lot of people. If they've got technical abilities to deceive everybody in CGI, you might say, well, what about that video? That could have been CGI'd.
Yes, indeed, it could have been.
But it wasn't. It was taken from an actual photograph that was published by Ellen DeGeneres at the time. There was no photoshopping involved. Scary. Being willing to lie. People are willing to lie. Now, Trump is notorious for using his inverted pyramid position. And you look at the body language of these two world leaders. The inverted pyramid, as you know, is a symbolic expression of some secret society. Trudeau's looking rather dapper, kind of like he's his first day at elementary school. But yeah, there you have it. Thank you for that link. Sarah's here to give me a break so I can have some dinner. But yeah, we are dealing with a rather slow and corrupt government, with America simply doing what they're told. Unfortunately. If we were leading, the world would be following, but they're not. They're looking at us going, what's wrong with you? Why do you have Trump as a president? Here's a layout of the states and whether they're going to swing left or right. This is the most recent assessment of the current political environment of the country right now. But I said that this is only representative of 45% of the people. That's how many people actually vote.
Acinetobacter, it's one of a group of pathogens with a high rate of antibiotic resistance. Well, it's become known as Iraqibacter due to its seemingly sudden emergence in military treatment facilities during the Iraq War. Wow. Thanks. Thank you, Summit City Alt, to remind people to be mindful. I think it's always good to be mindful and question things. That's a very good thing. Mapping the bacteria in New York's subways. Wow. Every day, New York City's 5.5 million commuters seed the city subways with bacteria from the food they eat, the pets or plants they keep, and their shoes, sneezes, and unwashed hands. For the first time, researchers at Weill Cornell Medical College sampled DNA in New York City's 466 open subway stations. They found genetic material from 15,152 different species. Most of them harmless or unidentified. Almost half the DNA belonged to bacteria. No two subway stations were exactly the same, and the research continues. Why? I don't know. Mapping the bacteria in New York subways. Why? I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. I don't see him doing that in the chat room. Is he doing that in the chat room? Or is he doing it in private chat? Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, Darthna. Thanks for sharing yours. Okay, Anita, you just opened a new account. Yay. Salted Peanut, you mean they do have plans to interfere with the election? I'm sure you can hear that. That's amazing. The sound of freedom, as they say around here. Or, you know, lovely jets ramping up to practice for the strikes that they need to do in Iran. Okay, you're going to help another channel with some background art. Sounds good. But I wonder if, like, that works. Yeah, I just wanted to do that. Start again. Oh, you needed a channel to help them with their background art. Sounds good. Okay, tomorrow you're gonna take a picture. Okay, good. Sounds good, Anita. Sounds good. That's tricky work, but I'm sure you got it. How sad. It was written in 43 BC in Rome. So true then as it is today. Life is too short to fight with a computer or people who use a computer to fight. Cicero, the Roman emperor, wrote this in 43 BC according to this meme. That's my source. Sorry. I didn't do anything else. Hi, Frieza. I'm glad you did nothing wrong. This is about politics mostly, but we can talk about what you would like to talk about. The poor work and work. The rich exploit the poor. The soldier protects both. The taxpayer pays for all three. The banker robs all four. The lawyer misleads all five. The doctor bills all six. The goons scare all of seven. The politician lives happily on account of all eight. Written in 43 BC, but valid even today. America's Third Party. You can find out more about us at americasthirdparty.com. David Sponheim is running for President of the United States of America. If you like Spice Girls, then I suppose Spice World is a good movie. Amber is going on vacation. Amber is my cat. I'm going on vacation, and I'm taking her with me. I'm glad that you're here, Frieza, and you're welcome. We're a centrist political party, fiscally conservative, socially liberal, right in the middle of the political spectrum. I believe we have common sense solutions to America's problems. Well, maybe I won't be flying with Amber. She's not going on an airplane. Oh, if you wonder who else I'm talking to, I'm also broadcasting at Twitch, Vaughn Live, iVlog, and Periscope as well. It is a lot of stress at her age, but I will take her to the nearest, if something happens to Amber, I will take her to the nearest taxidermist. Miss Kaimo, and you feel odd chatting alone. There's a chatter in my room that's a far right conservative, California conservative. Well, she will have her litter. We will take the litter box with our cat when we go on the trip. She usually sits in my lap during the car ride. She won't like it the first 3 hours. The entire first day, she won't like it. You feel the opposite is needed, fiscally liberal but socially conservative. So you think the government should spend a lot of money, but that's why we would say we're fiscally conservative. We don't believe that the answer is just throwing money at problems indefinitely. Thank you, Sunstar. Nice to see you. But we do, the reason that we say that we're fiscally conservative is because we believe that we should save money, and we say that we're socially liberal because we do believe in helping people. I do have a cat leash. Yeah, maybe I could go to Disneyland and remember to get the pictures in time. It's difficult for me with the timing at that time I was on spring break, and I just get too busy. I'm a very, very busy person. No, cats don't like leashes. Whatever. But Amber's a pretty chill cat. I took the cat, we've taken her in her cat carrier to the Grand Canyon and also to Niagara Falls when she was a young cat. That was, of course, 8 years ago. I so disagree with that, Frieza. Do you think that's the right thing to do? Frieza says the Hungarian government is starting a program where they will give women a subsidized loan for getting married and having a child. And after, if they have 2 children, they cut their loan, the debt of their loan, in half. And after they have a 4th child, she never has to pay income tax again. Because they just want women to stay home and have children. Oh, I definitely am the opposite of that. Definitely. Oh, that's cute. Oh, Scissor Fight, you should send that to, I thought you should definitely send that to, Maxed Out Credit. He's always talking about his nephews. I don't know who it is you are talking to. Why don't you just email them your background that you create? Anita over at iVlog is trying to create a background for someone. Yeah, email is pretty simple. You think I can go with you to get your wisdom teeth out while I'm on vacation? I don't think I'm going to be traveling to California. But I am sorry that you've got to get your wisdom teeth out, and I wish I was there to be able to drive you. You had an impacted wisdom tooth for 5 years, and it's a very complicated surgery. Okay, Frieza says in Hungary they want to subsidize some loans to women and that make them not have to pay income taxes in conjunction with closing the border. So they want to make like a pure Hungarian race. They don't believe in open borders, or I believe in an interconnected society, but I do believe that each country has their own rights and ability to govern the way they choose to govern. Do you live in Hungary, Frieza? Amber does have some dreams where she's like, that's my cat. me imitating my cat. I agree. I usually don't want to click images. Oh, cool. Your flowers and your bonsai. Wow, that's nice work. Yeah, right. Well, Justin Trudeau has a lovely wife, I believe, Canadian. I do tend to. I haven't read all of his policies, but I do tend to agree with quite a few of his policies. No pirates. I probably wouldn't. Oh, interesting. A breakthrough sees a first mind-controlled robotic arm with non-invasive implant. Wait, is this just a... I sound exhausted? I am pretty happy today. It is the first day of summer. But I am pretty exhausted from cleaning up everything, getting ready for the first day of summer. That's cool. It could help people with... Oh, did I show you this? Let me find it. I have to look at my bookmarks. I think I put it under tech. Come on. Why isn't it going down? Why isn't... No, I want to... There we go, maybe in here. New folder. Oh, here it is. Tech. Smart collaborative robots. Let me show you this one. Yeah, we've done that, Misanthropy, and I have my hammock, and I don't know, maybe I should take my hammock with me. I've never used it. I'd like to use it. This is a site called Rethink Robotics, and the cool thing about this robot is it has a camera and it can sense people. They had another one called Baxter, and their newer one's called Dex Sawyer, but it's... They're a pioneer in the field of collaborative robotic solution. This Sawyer robot is specifically designed to take over precision tasks with embedded Cognex vision system. It's controlled by its specially engineered software and operating system, Intera, which is meanwhile available in version 5 and continues to be updated. Due to his safe design and the intuitive way to teach him, he's highly accepted by employees. Yeah, Amber will most likely be under the bed if we stream from a hotel room. Well, I was actually thinking of leaving Amber in the car most of the time while we're on vacation. If we're traveling from place to place. Because, you know, then she could just get used to being in a car. And not have to look under the bed for her. Otherwise, she'll just go straight under the bed, and then I'll have to get her out from under the bed, and I'm too tired to do that. It would... Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, Misanthropy. I wouldn't do it if it were hot out. You're right. I would not leave a cat in the car if it were too hot. David's very about... He's all about making sure Amber is safe and protected and awesome. You think science is going to blow up in our faces if humans aren't careful? Oh yes, I have heard that some kind of robotic fish is now powered by some kind of robot blood for greater autonomy. It's energized by a circulatory system that mimics an animal that uses blood for circulation. "40 centimeters long, made of soft rubber-like material, propelled by a dual-function fluid that's pulsated through the body of the fish." The innovation surrounding this fish is its complete lack of an isolated battery unit. Integrating the battery function into the body of the robot has the advantage of cutting down on weight while also augmenting maneuverability, as the movement of the liquid helps propel the fish and retain buoyancy. This is contrasted with a simple battery, which would merely restrain the movement. Engineers responsible for developing this system call it an electrolytic vascular system for energy-dense robots. They state modern robots lack the multifunctional interconnected systems found in living organisms and are consequently unable to reproduce their efficiency and autonomy. Energy storage systems are among the most crucial limitations to robot autonomy, but their size, weight, material, and design constraints can be re-examined in the context of multifunctional bio-inspired applications. That's pretty cool.
So how do those wet ones work out? Were they good for cleaning?
Oh, what? I didn't use them actually. They're in my purse.
Oh, okay.
Remove place without a green screen. Oh, that is pretty cool, yeah. Don't I have a lifetime license? I guess I have to read the user manual. You're trying to help me pay attention. I am paying attention. An astronomer captured SpaceX. Wow. Pay $1 or more? Oh. Pay what you want? Okay, I've got to get that. Can I should do that on my other computer. Oh, did you link it? You did. Okay, just a sec. And you trust Humble Bundle. $730, $31 worth of awesome stuff. You just pay $1 or more. Redeem the keys to access content. 24,000 something are sold. Suggested $25, but I can pay what I want. It says I do have a to-do list. Three different tiers. The one with that only has I just do custom amount and do $1. I will not receive the beat the average content, and I will not receive the $25 content. And I will just receive Don't I have XSplit? Do I not have VCam? Is that different?
There's a burn ban in effect and people have fires, yeah. Have fun.
I have XSplit, but I probably don't have XSplit VCam. That's what you're saying. Okay. That is a good idea. You think VCam's different? Besides, it's just $1. Are they going to try to sell me stuff? Probably.
I gotta have it closed down. Yeah, I like that. The top is really nice on you. So,
for the $25 tier, David can get 1 year of Restream to stream his show to 30 sites.
Great, let's do it.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
$25 per year?
Well, it's like there's this thing that's the sale here at Humble Bundle that has like, it's a pay what you want sale and it's only on for the next 4 days. It's on for the next 4 days.
And it's a humble.
And it's
it's
like a pay you what you want thing.
Yeah.
But you get for $1 you would get these 4 things, including XSplit Vcam, which has the ability like.
Yeah, I
to turn off
actually
the
downloaded
background.
it already. Yeah.
You already have XSplit Vcam.
I put it on our because our lifetime policy gave us a free one. I called it. They said yeah.
Oh.
Just go ahead and download it. So we already have that, but I would like a year of Restream. That looks really good. Yeah. That's really good.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So I should do that.
I think it's a good idea. We may want to reinstall a Humble Bundle on here.
On here, yeah.
Yeah, because I think the other computer had it and it disappeared with the other computer. So we can use my email address for the connection.
Should I just do
Purchase it through that.
your email address or mine or?
Mine would be best because I already have a Humble Bundle of a couple of different music Magix programs that probably could work on that computer. If I upload, I have Magix on there, but I don't have the all of the different bundles of songs loops that I could use.
Do you have PayPal or what do I do? Pay with?
Well, I think I should.
Card?
I think I should first, before we do anything, I think I should trace the email from my email server.
Okay, well we can do it.
Because that'll tell me
We can just
what
leave
account
that
we have.
Open or
Okay.
bookmark it or something.
All right,
Because
4 days. I will
within
bookmark
4
it.
days, we'll do it tomorrow.
That's a
I'm
really
gonna go make a to-do list. I've got 30
Okay.
things on my to-do list right now.
That's the one. You did that one already?
I already did. No, I tried, but didn't get
Okay.
through.
Okay, go for it.
So I might
Thank
try
you.
again.
We'll put that on the list. Yeah, so we've got technology is really working for us nowadays, all of us. If you have the connectivity with digital radio, it is really amazing, the quality of sound.
Do you like that?
I love it. I was really impressed. Sarah just purchased a home unit from Sirius that gives us a fantastic sound. It's it's like wow. And our problem is that we didn't really enjoy it enough because just driving, we weren't really enjoying the full feature of it. But they have a very low scale product. I mean, a low cost but upscale product that you just have to connect with a speaker system that's got power on it, AC power, and then you've got. I just hooked it up to a 20-watt system with a nice woofer. And you've got a portable home unit that whenever you go anywhere, you could, turn it on and listen to any music you want. So we really value that. It is connectivity is always a problem around the space satellites. Yeah. They're going to launch 12,000 units into orbit in the coming year. Well, then you're going to have a lot more connectivity. And with the 5G network, it's going to be like the whole world will be like buzzing. That's why I think we should have our first rally at a major concert center and call it the Atomic Man as opposed to the Burning Man. I'm thinking it would be great to have a venue over like the Gorge would be incredible. God, wouldn't that be great? It probably runs about $60,000 for just to book it. I doubt we could even afford it because we don't have that kind of money. But wouldn't that be something? I don't have a serious contract, and unlike Howard Stern, I never really was approached by Sirius. So, yeah, you got to have a good woofer. We got a 20-watt system that we picked up, and I was using it in the show, and I said, well, I'm going to bring in my Logitech speakers. They're kind of tinny. I don't have any woofer. But the technology of sound is really micro now. You can really get great boombox sound out of small units, and that's what that delivers. I mean, I was impressed. Sarah had it playing in the morning. She hooked it up, and it was playing in the kitchen. And I was like, whoa! You instantly relax because music is one of those tools you need in the morning to kind of stay mellow. Your day really has to start out slow if you want it to be, a fulfilling day. If you just jump right into your car and then race down the road. You're like pushing yourself, so it's kind of nice to have music, really. Thank you. I don't want 300 million to stop doing what I'm doing. What are you crazy? God, it's just like, you guys don't have a, you have diarrhea, I can see that, but you don't have a backbone and you don't have ethics, and it seems like a lot of you are living under the illusion that you can get away with in life by being kind of a, whatever, kind of a huckster. Oh yeah, they're offering money to Dave's to attack his show and shut him down. Man, they got made a lot of millions of dollars. People are offering these guys. Check it out. And some guy came over to Twitter or Twitch and said, "Yeah, this is the show. Is this where you make millions?" And Nick the Dick says, "I have made millions. Thank you." Yeah, look at that. Now I'm not telling you this because it's like some random thing. I get this every day, and this is what this guy just published. Right on the Twitch show. Look at this. I've made millions. Thank you, Dave. It's so easy. It's too easy. And what you're doing, guys, Mark emails the instructions. Check this out, everybody. You just have to comply and hang out in the rooms and attack me and dox me whenever you get a chance. Yeah. I just do what I'm told. See? Nick the Dick. Look at this. I'm putting this on screen so you can see. This is what we're dealing with every night. No, these people are real. You people who are denying that these people are making money, you're kind of out to lunch. I hate to say it, but these people really are. Their story never wavers. They really are. And they're actually telling us he's real. He's really making money. I mean, here it is. Mark knows that you're a supporter of our show, dude. God, are you that sublimely ignorant of the reality that you are simply stepping into the good side when we do the show, and if you want to be a bad person, you have to just turn to the dark side and then you automatically sell your soul to Satan? It's a disgrace for people who go to work in the real world. Thank you. And it's a disgrace to people to do that. Thank you, Anita. But see, he appreciates me, but he wants to get the money anyway. He doesn't care. He's willing to do whatever it takes to get the money. Because these people are desperate and they love the money. There's good money. I mean, my gosh, Lot Lizard's probably made millions. Mark has made huge amounts. Where can you send a donation? Well, I have a website, but frankly, I'm not soliciting donations from people who are scumbags, who try to attack my show. You see, their ethics has to constantly fight this battle, and that's why our country's so corrupt. That's why we've fallen into the hands of the likes of Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi, because of people like Nick. Yeah. See, unfortunately, Nick, you have become the problem. You're willing to sell your soul to Satan for a buck so you can attack a perfectly good movement that's trying to build on the internet. And yeah, don't send me anything, Nick. I don't want your tainted money from Satan. You guys who entered the dark side have no idea where you are. And it's like being in the edge of the toilet bowl, wondering, gee, I wonder what this is. And you're actually in a toilet bowl. And you're going down into the dark abyss of evil. Mark says he has favors needed to be filled. Yeah. I can't take dark money. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for eliminating him from the show, that one guest. I'm glad you've got moderator status over there. We get this all the time though, and some of you may think, oh yeah, they're just full of it. They're playing you, dude. They act like they're getting money. No, they really are getting money. We started seeing it 8 years ago. As soon as we started on Blog TV and our numbers were zooming up, we got people saying, man, I get paid $100 to stop you every night. They were getting $100 a piece. And one guy said, hey, Dave, I support you, but you want me to prove to you what they're giving me? And he said, here, look at my PayPal account and check this out. He sent me information. Sure enough, the guy gave him like $300 for 3 days worth of attacks. And that was in the early days, 8 years ago. Well, Mark is playing all kinds of games because he's hiding behind what he's already said. Mark let it out of the bag that he got a lot of money. He also let it out of the bag that he censored 350 million VPNs. Then he got out of the bag, then he didn't know what to do, so he embraced the idea of getting a lot of money and just said, oh yeah, it's a big joke, everybody, yeah. So now he thinks this is a joke that he said that. So he's using that as cover. He's hiding in plain sight. And now he says he has been censoring me. Now he's admitting it to it. All along he denied it. And he's saying he's only censoring me because I said he was. It's like he's playing word games and dancing around his lies to try to create a little, like a fake front. It's not going to work. We know what's going on, and we know the darkness that these people have succumbed to. We are fighting the New World Order, people. I mean, think about it. There are people on this planet that see us as unnecessary, that they see automation as the future, and frankly, you're just a body in their eyes. And these are the people that run our country through the two-party system. These are the Republicans and Democrats who will do anything for money. And frankly, their decisions usually involve taxing you, which means you lose, meaning you don't have any new opportunities. You get stuck with taxes, and they also print up money to fund their operation, which inflates the cost of everything. And then you have to spend more money constantly to pay for things, which is in and of itself another hidden taxation. It's a hidden form of tax for them to keep raising the price of everything. So we are basically their fodder, but we have, ironically, the power of the vote. But if they control our ability to think and who we vote for, we don't have any power at all. And that's what they're trying to do. And that's why they're stopping or trying to stop any third party, especially us. Because we've been doing this without fail every day, diligently, as good American citizens would, because we really care about our country. But you people don't realize when you don't go against that honest core, you're actually burning yourself and etching your place in the darkness of evil and hell. That your place will be right next to the burning bowels of the inferno itself. And you don't even believe in an afterlife. You don't even believe in God. You're people who are atheists in nature, who think that we're just here to have a good time, so let's make some money doxing this dude. Yeah, for sure. I mean, screw him. Who the hell does he think he is? What you don't understand is you're messing with good versus evil. You're in a very, very ugly game that you just consigned to, that you were forced into by your own greed. No, I'm afraid evil is dust. In the end, it will be completely almost burnt to a crisp. The good will inherit, the meek will inherit the earth. And what you don't understand is you're part of the evil by doing this. So I think you probably don't believe in good and evil, although many atheists do. But what you've done essentially is gone against karma, and karma will kick you on your ass. Yeah. It comes. And then you wonder why your life is screwed up. You wonder why your pancreas is acting up. You ask your wife, could she check to see if you have testicular cancer? You don't know how it's going to hit you, where it's going to hit you, but it's coming.
Now, when I was down there, I saw a vat of fire, huge vat of fire with liquid boiling hot lava and God's eternal judgment. And I saw demons laughing and dragging souls over. It just died from the earth, that it was called the Abominals.
Okay, that's a little feature presentation of what's to come for the doxers who think they can make lots of money here on earth and wonder why their eternal soul is going to burn in hell. But you go right ahead, guys. Think there's no God. Think there's no heaven or hell. You could be like Hillary Clinton and just, live under the veil of anonymity. Nobody even knows who she is, whether she's a clone or not. Yeah, we don't even know if Hillary's, technically out there. I mean, there is solid evidence that she may have had a clone created. And we've talked about the technology behind cloning in our show. Well, I wish the show was more interactive too, Saffron. What would you like to ask me? Dave, why do people believe in God but not aliens? That's a good question. Yeah. I think people who believe in aliens might as well believe in God. Good point. Yeah. The opposite of what you're saying could very well be true. I mean, people that do believe in aliens should probably consider a higher source than that. Yeah. And I doubt even aliens have any real clue as to what forces exist in an interdimensional plane. Now, if there is an interdimensional plane, which we know there is, and we know that this interdimensional plane is now defying our top physicists who look at the structure of the atom and how forces even interact, many people don't realize that we've already seen glimpses of the interdimensional world. We've seen ghosts. Some people have. There have been sightings. You can tell this to any scientist. Yeah. Some of you have probably seen ghosts in your life. Press 1 if you've seen ghosts in your life. Some sort of a weird aberration or a strange event that you can't explain. I know Anita has. She saw a guy at an event this past year that disappeared. It was like a person from a different time. Guess 9377 has. Lou, 23, seen something strange. Misanthropy saw a ghost in here. Yeah, well, remember Ghost? He disappeared. You saw the movie Ghost? You had hauntings in your house? This person named I Have Diarrhea. Are you sure they weren't rumblings from within your colon? Well, thank you for voting, Lou. You know, I think there are people that have encountered things like myself, and I know we've had a few of our supporters who've come in here and talked about various experiences before, but that would be the interdimensional plane that we don't really understand. Yeah. And you can feel it. It gives you the creeps when you get near haunted houses, and it's just like weird ghost bump kind of things, you know. Goosebump. When you get goosebumps on your arms. Yeah, I had a couple of weird experiences when I was a child. They say that when you get 3 knocks on the door at the stroke of midnight, it's a sign that that interdimensional plane is connecting to you. And it happened to me right next to a cemetery where most of my family's ancestors are buried. We were staying in a motel right near the cemetery, like 100 feet away. And it was 12 midnight, and I got these 3 loud bangs, like boom, 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 on the door. It's like, hello, who is it? Nobody there. And this is in the dead of summer. It was like 98% humidity and 98% heat, sweltering. And I finally, got up the courage to open the door because there were no windows. And when I opened the door, after waiting a little bit, there was this huge, cold Arctic breeze blowing in my face. This is at 12 midnight. And it was supposed to be 98 degrees, but it was like 40 degree just blowing in my face. I can't explain what happened, why I got 3 knocks on the door, but it's a known event that happened in history. It's happened time and time again. So there are people like Houdini who said that this whole thing, hocus pocus thing, is just BS, and he dedicated his life to proving it, and said that if there was some sort of a force, he would appear above his grave on the day of his birth, or the day of his death, I'm not sure what. But nobody's ever seen Houdini. He never came back. So either he was completely unable to tap into that interdimensional plane because he was such a doubting Thomas, or, yeah, Ghost was a great movie. Patrick Swayze. Yeah, awesome. But or basically Houdini was right, that this is just hocus pocus and we don't know anything. Anyways, I thought I'd touch on that interdimensional plane. We had a discussion about laws of physics with Meow TV last night because he claims to be an expert on everything. And he was talking about how they haven't developed some sort of a way of transferring information in that space between the forces we do understand. Like, I guess the neutrino force, the boson force, the strong force, all these things we still are trying to understand about the universe. Heck, we don't even really understand gravity, believe it or not. The sad reality is our doctors are pretending to be experts on everything, and we claim to have the best science in the world. David, why do I make so much censoring you? It's nuts. Because they're so afraid of me, Kenji. Yeah, you're being paid millions of dollars in your mind. That's a huge amount of money, but in the end, you lose because you're basically riding the yang, the back of the yang. You're basically a bottom dweller in Satan's legion of army of idiots who just want a quick bit of money just to screw somebody over. And you don't realize what you're doing is hurting the growth of our movement. So you've consigned your soul to Satan and you don't even realize it. You're actually, your whole life is now going downhill because you're making so much money attacking me. It's the counter opposite of what you think. You know, have you ever heard the expression, no good deed goes unpunished? Well, you'd think that by that logic, no bad deed would go punished. You feel that the money pays for your drugs, which are ruining your brain. And who knows what's going to happen to that. David, have you ever had hauntings in your home? No, not in my home. Although we've had a couple of rodents that have to be dealt with, that's for sure. It's no easy task either. I didn't call you an idiot, 937. No, not everyone is called an idiot here. Only the ones that I'm talking to directly. But if you feel like you're an idiot and you think that you're the one I'm talking to directly, then if the shoe fits, wear it. Yeah, you can be an idiot. Nobody's perfect. Look at our president. IQ of barely 100, if he's lucky. He's a total effing idiot and lie all the time. I eated paint chips and played under power lines growing up. And look what he's done with his lack of intelligence. Nearly gotten into a war with Iran, a conflict in Venezuela, and a trade war with China. Yeah. Hey, let's see what the stock market did today. This is Just Chatting with Dave, because that's our new show at Cool Rock Party. Just Chatting. They got rid of IRL in real life because they know that people in real life struggle to do a show and they're getting paid nothing. So, yeah. Stock market's doing really well. You know, America is, as long as Donald Trump can BS constantly and it flies, it's like a BS test. The stock market is really a BS test. If his BS is flying, they think he's bullish for America. I think it has something to do with the Trump factor. It's like the Trump branding. The more he shines, the more our stock market does well. And the problem is, you know, when Mueller didn't deliver a strong case because it wasn't properly vetted, he didn't even go after 10 years of tax returns, and among other things. There's so many reasons why our country has got this false foundation. We're believing in somebody who lies, cheats, and steals. And we consider that's a virtue. That's no different than Iran, where you are successful if you can screw somebody out of a deal. I sold this item to this fool for nothing. This is the way in the Middle East. Yes. I worked for a man who was an Ashkenazi. And he used to brag to me about how he buys things for a penny and sells them for $1. Or buys things for $1 and sells them for $100 or more. He bragged to me about that. They love to take advantage. So these are the people nesting in our financial sector. They love it. They're riding on your lack of intelligence and your belief that somehow Donald Trump is helping you. You made a lot of money in oil and gold now. Yeah, I know. And Kenji only has an IQ of 88. Last time he checked. But he gets money. He's gotten millions of dollars. If you don't mind me asking, Kenji, how much money do you have from Mark? Because I know Super Saver got like 4 million. How many millions have you received so far? He knows that much. We got a live one over here at Twitch. He's sharing information. Yeah.
I want you to hit it.
Ghost Dad, Bill Cosby, paranormal comedy. That looks like fun tonight. I'll play that, yeah, just to see it, if it works. Fair use. Yeah, that might be funny. Thin Oreos are the best, Dave. Yeah, how much you made? How much total? Money. How much total money? I'm going to try to speak it in his language of an 88 IQ. How much you get for Docs and Dave? I mean total. Super Saver said he got like 4 million.
I want you to hit me as hard.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be inappropriate for younger audiences. Hey, we're the monkeys. Yeah. You know, whatever happened to IT&T? ITT closed down when they found out that they would be investigated for offering technical degrees. Yeah, it says here, if you were attending ITT when its closure on September 6, 2016, or if you withdrew from an ITT Technical Institute location on or after May 6, 2016, you have two primary options. Apply for a closed school loan discharge. Wow. Jump to closed school loan discharge if you're attending ITT when it announced its closure. So we're still paying the price of ITT, and not one ITT executive or administrative official has ever been called to task. We lost a lot of money on ITT, and still do. And on top of that, yeah. No, I never went to ITT. I knew people that did. But on top of that, we're losing money just having Betsy DeVos as our Secretary of Education. Her charter school program is throwing tons and tons of money at Muslim madrasas run by the Gulen schools and others. One company just got turned down by a state. They said, no, we're not going to pay the bill for your charter schools, Betsy. If you become president, are you going to change the way corporations work? No, I can't do that. I can't. I'd love to be able to encourage more of a family model like they have in Japan. The Japanese corporations are built on a family concept. It's actually really good. But it doesn't necessarily apply to America. I think getting profit sharing on the table as a plan could be coupled with U.S. Federal loans from our infrastructure bank. That would be a good thing, because we're offering 2% loans to U.S. companies hiring U.S. employees at $15 an hour. U.S. for U.S. at 15 per hour. So U.S. employees for U.S. companies at $15 an hour. So that's one thing, and we could couple it with profit sharing. That'd be part of the plan. Yeah. Not only would your employees get $15 an hour, but you'd actually get a small profit share. You'd get stocks. I know. Wouldn't that be awesome? You know, the banking industry is primarily the one industry that really benefits from profit sharing. They've done it during the past blowout quantitative easing. You're running for Congress against John Larson? Hi. Yeah, I don't know who you are, but yeah, it's yeah, it's just trying to kind of he's the 1st District of Connecticut. Wow. Are you, is your name Hoppy by any chance? Hey, I never graduated from ITT, no. Willie Pickles, Dave, can we get a response on the New York Times report that Trump had planes in the air and ships placed to launch a military response to our drone being shut down over international waters, but called it off minutes ago? Yeah. I can't give you confirmation, but that's good to know. You gotta understand, Donald Trump is, I guess, a loose tendril, whipping around, doing whatever he wants. So it doesn't surprise me that he wants to launch an attack on Iran. Bolton is gung-ho for it. John Bolton believes that we could easily prevail, even though he got us in 2 wars that we're still involved in and haven't gotten out of. I mean, you have to laugh, otherwise you'd cry. No, Trump doesn't need to respond because the drone being shot down was within their airspace. We were actually flying over the Strait of Hormuz when it happened. This is not the first time it happened. It happened under Obama in 2010. A drone was shot down and no one in the U.S. government acknowledged it. A Lockheed Martin drone, one of their early models. It wasn't shot down, it was hijacked, and they used the exact same software to control it. No, I did not graduate cum laude from ITT. Oh, you're claiming international airspace? Well, if that could be proven, absolutely. I don't think it can. That's the problem. But if they wanted to shoot a drone down in anticipation, they believe that they are being set up. And so far it looks like Trump has not admitted to planting a story upon the American people about 2 bomb attacks, which he has yet to recant in the press. That leaves him vulnerable to worldwide criticism. Yeah, really. I can tell you that Trump is dancing around in a world of his own shit. He's basically taking a dump here, a dump there, and everywhere he takes a dump, he eventually starts walking in it, and now he smells like crap. Yeah, he screwed up Chinese relations by overdoing he never should have imposed economic sanctions. I said that time and time again. He didn't listen to me. He just took my advice and did not sign the treaty with Iran. That did not need to be signed because it had been a null and void treaty since the Iranian government did not provide open and unfettered access to their atomic weapon that they were developing. And IAEA was not in there in a timely fashion, no matter what IAEA is now saying. That's a fact. I tracked it. And the fact that Iran is engaged in this type of behavior is typical. It's not like we haven't seen this before. What Trump is responding to is their typical reaction, which for Trump is like, oh, oh, you know. Nobody ever questions him. Nobody ever doubts him. When they do, they're like Omarosa, who claims that he called her the N-word numerous times. Do we ever hear from Omarosa anymore? No. I don't even know if she's still alive. I mean, has anyone heard from her? I hope she's alive, but it just seems a little bit weird that she just dropped out of the news. Ghost live at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester, England. Wow. Ghost. The group Ghost? Wow, okay. Hong Kong.
This is Super Invitation today with your focus on tonight tips.
That is just not very appropriate. We don't like to make fun of people with disabilities. Huang Wang. Lambda, no. Labium lambda, no. Omarosa is the assistant manager at Taco Bell now. I don't know where she is, but where's her book? Where's her big, huge reveal about the N-word? For that matter, where did Tom Arnold's story about Donald Trump hitting Melania in an elevator go? The Secret Service came by at Tom Arnold's house, and we saw it on tape because he had it on closed circuit TV. Everyone saw it. It's out there on YouTube. They basically threatened the guy. Tom Arnold had never said a thing about Trump again. He never said boo. He was talking about how there was a tape of when they were on Celebrity Apprentice and Trump was using every bad word about races, people. And there's a videotape of that, he said, but we never saw it. And he said there was a videotape of Donald Trump beating up Melania that he apparently didn't want anyone to see, so he paid somebody $500,000. That was Tom Arnold saying all that. No proof of any of it. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, Tom Arnold is a joke if he succumbed to the fear of Secret Service arresting him and putting him in Supermax. What would you do? Of course, Tom Arnold was married to Roseanne. Hello. And Roseanne is a very beautiful woman. Well, not really. If the people that are controlled at the very top, Willie, are have dirt on them, no, they're not going to release a tape. Like, why does Jeff Bezos, why is his penis picture still in the hands of Saudi Arabia, and they haven't released it? Because Jeff Bezos does a lot of business with Saudi Arabia. They want to nourish a relationship, so they have some dirt on him. They acquired it from his own cloud storage facility, which makes you question Jeff Bezos' ability to handle the NSA's cloud facility. And his equipment has to be triple checked. The entire NSA has to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. I'm amazed that it's probably going on right now as we speak, but I'm not privy to that knowledge. Well, that's the point. These people disappear. They don't have the courage to go farther because they're so hooked up to the system. Many of them have dirt on them already. They probably have dirt on Tom Arnold. Who knows? I mean, look what they did to General Petraeus when he was about to testify on Benghazi and Hillary Clinton's activities, which was it was all very suspicious. The day before he was going to testify, the FBI announced that they had him under surveillance for the past year with a woman named Paula. No, but I don't think you should denigrate Roseanne and her womanness. Yeah. I mean, her recent statements are no longer in the news. So. Yeah, so I just don't know who you are, whether you're Hoppy or not, because that's the Connecticut Hoppy lives in. It is kind of funny to watch the two of them, interact. What happened to her? She lost a great opportunity. Yeah. His last tweet was January, so wow, he's been quiet ever since. May 30th, 2018. Yeah, there's nothing from Tom Arnold since March. Roseanne called at the Me Too accusers hoes and slammed Senator Kamala Harris. Roseanne did. Tom Arnold said on Twitter, every major holiday my kids and I hit the road. Okay, so he's hit the road. Here he is. Instead of presenting any images of the truth, he's just hit the road. Here he is.
That every other trip and journey we've been on, are you enjoying yourself? Memorial Day 2019, we're on our trip, our journey. It's so different than every other trip and journey we've been on. Are you enjoying yourself, Jaxie? What about you, Pretty? Yeah. Really exploring new things, making new friends. Seeing the world. Taking chances. Really doing new adventures, right, guys? It's a new year.
Okay, well that's pretty much the neutralized and reduced in strength version, the Tom Arnold light version, where he's just having fun with his kids. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about anything. And that's weird when the Secret Service arrive at your door. That's what Hitler did, when he brought the SS in to shun anybody who questioned them. Hitler did the same thing. I'm sure Donald Trump ordered the Secret Service to go and confront him. I'm sure. Hey, here's my other sunglasses. Is it 9 yet? Yes, it's 9:12. Good. There we go. Wow. Well, I'd like to say great things are happening. I just don't know if we can really say anything's really happening. Do we really know that SpaceX is launching satellites that have strings attached to them? I think all of us were shocked to see this the other day. This was last week. An astronomer captured SpaceX's recently launched Starlink satellites on video. Earlier this week, SpaceX successfully launched its first 60 Starlink satellites into orbit around the Earth. An amateur astronomer in the Netherlands caught sight of them orbiting Earth after deployment and captured the scene on video. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty amazing. There they are. Starry, starry night. No, I've never come up with evidence against the president that and didn't have it. Yeah. Hey, thanks. I have diarrhea. Every time I say your name, it makes me feel worse. Like people think I have diarrhea when I just have you in the username category. Well, isn't that special? I wonder if he used piano wire or fiber optics to tether them together. They're definitely connected by something. You know, there's a lot of energy in that line. I wonder if he's harvesting energy off of the electric line, because if you are connected, you can actually harvest energy, picking up the electrical energy in the ionosphere. It actually is an attractor. It's like a lightning rod. And if you put one of the theories was if you could shoot a balloon into the air and let it sit close to the ionosphere, something that's really resilient, we could actually pick up energy here on Earth and pull it down from the ionosphere. This is a theory that is not that out of whack. In fact, I knew a guy who had an entire plan and prototype laid out on paper. He never built it, but it was like a lanyard you can propel into space with a balloon. He never built it, but it's interesting. Boeing had a meeting with him, and Boeing arrived at his house and talked to him for a little while, picked up his information, and then took it to Boeing, and he never saw it again. He never saw all the paperwork he had developed from Boeing, and they never contacted him again. So it's kind of interesting. Then he went on to create a tachyon generator design, and also a device to levitate. And Boeing didn't contact him after they got the ion generator idea from him. So I have the blueprints the guy gave me for the tachyon generator and the levitation device. Yeah, the problem is you can't read them. They're like chicken scratch. Restart the cast. Okay. We got kicked off of iBlog, everybody. Hi. We're back. Yeah, so I keep, I'm a collector of stuff. I keep things like that. Yeah, they're reporting UFOs hanging around military bases. That's a new thing. I tend to believe that there are two layers to our military. There is the men in uniform and all the men and women that make up our military. And that's a clearance level at the ground level. And when you get to the top clearance levels and you're going to Area 52, it's a joke because the Space Force has been in existence since Truman created it. And when Donald Trump and Mike Pence were talking about building a Space Force, I had to laugh. It's been there. A military Space Force has been there. We just don't know about it. And it's kind of funny that people like Donald Trump and Mike Pence, who have no clue, are running our country, because they're just puppets. They'll do whatever they're told. I still believe that the U.S. government has, if they have encountered an alien, they've reversed engineered it, and they've got similar equipment. But if they haven't encountered an alien, and they've been working with some pretty amazing technologies that have been propelled by geniuses along the way over the past 150 years, we may very well be looking at a TR-3B type of vehicle in full use and deployment by the U.S. military. I'm more than willing to, we're back on iBlog. I'm more than willing to assert the belief that the military actually has spacecraft that look like Martian spacecrafts. I'm not of the belief that we don't. We have, even our stealth vehicles that we've seen are now readily available on the internet. You can look at them. Even those vehicles are are 30-year-old technology. Imagine how far we progressed in 30 years. Your imagination can run wild. Maybe Roswell happened, and then that's when they reverse engineered it. And the Majestic 12 file may very well be real. And that was the release by the FBI of a file that was redacted all over the place about an alien spacecraft that had arrived in Roswell. But the proof is also confused with the theory that maybe there's a lot of lying going on. NASA has an elaborate studio that reveals the International Space Studio, or International Space Station. They should call it the International Space Studio. But NASA has an underwater training center that looks identical, and they can film down there, and it looks just like they're in the sky above us. So a lot of foolery is going on, tomfoolery. Here's William Cooper discussing the moon landing hoax and how they've created a...
You're listening to The Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. In 1/6 gravity, everything would weigh 1/6, or 16.7% of its Earth weight. In other words, a 180-pound man would weigh a mere 30 pounds. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to strip away some of the bullshit that NASA's been shoving down your throats for years. Writers were speculating on the athletic abilities of men on the moon a long time before the space program and Apollo. They based their calculations on 1/6 gravity, because that's what the scientists told us the gravity on the moon would be. And the public was anticipating some of these spectacular athletic feats when astronauts explored the moon. Do you remember seeing any? None were ever performed, ladies and gentlemen. There just weren't any. No. And you say, well, they were weighted down with these big, giant, heavy suits. I got a bridge. Want to buy it? You may...
That was Bill Cooper of the famed conspiracy theory. Yeah, so they've been lying about a lot of things, but look at this. This looks very real. And this is the TR-3B. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I brought up the wrong video. Showing you an actual NASA, showing you an actual alien spacecraft. That was the TR-3B. Here it is again. So this could be the space force that we have already. This is not the first time it's seen either. It's been seen many, many times in the air above various countries. It's a flying wedge which seems to defy gravity. It can also be video cloaked. It seems to defy gravity, yeah. Let me take you past this one. It's been debunked, that picture. Yeah, so we've seen sketches of this, and then you hear about sightings of things over the water. We saw one the other day. There was a military sighting. So the military is either working with the space military and trying to reveal information about alien spacecrafts to kind of prepare us for what they're going to show us. They could also be faking it with Operation Bluebeam, which was developed by the government to create holographic images of things. There's also that question. Or the third question is, it really is alien of nature, and aliens have already taken over our government, and people are wearing masks because they're reptilians. But I find that hard to believe. That's right. The media doesn't tell you the truth. You don't get much truth out of the media. You just get whatever they're told from the Associated Press. You know, the major amount of news comes from the AP. And the AP, by the way, is a product of the Nazi regime of Adolf Hitler. The Associated Press was developed for the Nazis. They went on to become journalists after the war and then took over. Yeah, isn't that ironic? The AP actually was originally developed by Adolf Hitler. Yeah. So now most everything is filtered through the AP. I don't think anyone gets any news in the mainstream media anymore that isn't going through the AP. I used to read the news from the AP every morning when I did the newscast for a radio station. It's a lifeline for entertainment value for people. Radio stations couldn't exist without what they've done. And they provide story after story after story, well written, intriguing. The work they do is, you know, certainly keeps them at the #1 position. Yeah, your bowels understand gravity. You found out that Nazi Otto Skorzeny helped teach many Middle Eastern leaders like Yasser Arafat and worked for Mossad. The Nazi-Israeli connection is real. Yeah, people don't realize that Hitler actually was part of the plan to create Israel. He was a Zionist. Just like Biden and Trump, they're both Zionists. That's a real eye-opener when you finally realize that a lot of this, the Nazis were not taken out by World War II. They didn't all die. That's the biggest shocker for a lot of us. Are like, wow, really? You know, we won the war, but we didn't beat the Nazis. They infested our government. Netanyahu put it very succinctly when he talked about Hitler's original intention. He wanted to send the Jewish people to Palestine and just basically do like Lincoln wanted to send black people to Liberia. But he wanted to send Jewish people to Palestine. That was Hitler's plan. He wanted to populate that region so that he could control it. And this is what Netanyahu himself said.
And this attack and other attacks on the Jewish community in 1920, 1921, 1929 were instigated by a call of the Mufti of Jerusalem, Haj Amin al-Husseini, who was later sought for war crimes in the Nuremberg trials because he had a central role in fomenting the final solution. He flew to Berlin. Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time. He wanted to expel the Jews. And Haj Amin al-Husseini went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. So what should I do with them? He asked. He said, burn them. And he was sought during the Nuremberg trials for prosecution. He escaped it. Later died in cancer after the war, died of cancer in Cairo. But this is what Haj Amin al-Husseini said. He said, the Jews seek to destroy the Temple Mount. My grandfather in 1920 seeks to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this lie is about 100 years old.
Yeah. So at least he can clarify it for you. You know, and I'm not in any way glorifying anything about Germany. I think Hitler was an awful person and really one of the worst people that ever lived. But when I looked into the details of Hitler's escape from Germany, and I found out that he didn't die in Austria, burned to death with Eva Braun, they got out, and there were numerous sightings of Hitler and Eva Braun in Argentina and in other South American countries. And the FBI has a file 200 pages long that covers this story. Yeah, 200 different cases, over 200. And I even have the full vault here at the FBI will tell you exactly what they have. Yeah, this is it. The vault has a tremendous amount of information. They never followed up on it. So why didn't the FBI follow up on Hitler's sightings in Argentina? The only logical explanation is somebody was protecting Adolf Hitler within the FBI. You had a roommate named Eva Braun, her cat. That's nice. Good point, chat room. Pelosi is awful. Nancy's yeast infection is half that age. I know. And Nancy's been trying desperately to appear perfect while failing to understand or grasp the trends within the Democratic Party and how Ocasio-Cortez is actually capturing the eyes and ears of people who are concerned about immigrants at the south border. You see, Nancy doesn't have her finger on the pulse of the Democratic Party. She's more like the woman hooked up to the paddles trying to keep it alive. Yeah. So Nancy Pelosi doesn't know where the Democratic Party is going. I think that Ocasio is going too far to the left, and I don't believe she has a mind of her own. She's speaking through the Justice Democrats. She speaks through forked tongue. But Ocasio-Cortez's her primary purpose is to, get noticed, and that's basically it. But she's smart enough to use certain things to her advantage, and I think talking about the concentration camps down on the south border is actually exactly true. We're dealing with concentration camps just like Hitler had under Trump. Casio Amadin, yes. Uba Abedin's sister. Yeah, there's that controversy that maybe Uba Abedin is Ocasio-Cortez. Because Ocasio did rise to power with Hillary's help. And Hillary's close with Eva, or Uma. If the allegations are true about Uma and Hillary being in a lesbian relationship, Uma Abedin's sister, Eva, also a former Secret Service agent for Saudi Arabia, could very well fit into the entire clockwork of taking over the Democratic Party again with a younger personality. Her story of being a bartender might even be a complete fake, too. I don't believe that she has a degree in economics from the University of Massachusetts. I don't believe she has a degree. She doesn't appear to understand economics at all. Right. She doesn't understand the problems facing the country. I don't think many of these people in the Democratic Party are even aware of this growing awareness that we have on the internet about the New World Order. Ironically, we're on top of things that really are far more important to the future of the human race than the Democrats, Republicans. I don't know. Hillary has never come out saying she's a lesbian, but every one woman who's been asked about her, there are numerous people who've been in the sex slave industry who talk about Bill and Hillary, who claim that they, allege that they were involved in various sex acts, blah, 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 lesbian in nature and homosexual in nature. I can't make any of these statements because nothing sticks. Bill Clinton and Hillary are actually the quintessential political Teflon couple. Nobody in the government is willing to probe deeper into who's making all this happen, because the people who run the government, they want this play, this left versus right. They want this ridiculous, extremely liberal, commie leftist making discussions about the problems of the border with immigrants in concentration camps, because that discredits the whole idea of immigrants in concentration camps, because some wild leftist decided, oh yeah, that's her idea. She thought of that when she didn't think about it. This is all over the internet. The people are tweeting left and right that there was a tweet we read the other day on two of our other shows that just showed deplorable conditions down there for people. Families have to sleep on concrete floors with no beds, no place to go to the bathroom. I mean, literally, they're treating them like animals. So she's right, but by having her say it, it makes her look like an idiot and the typical Trump tard who doesn't care about the future of America. Or rather, all he cares about is the future of America, and he doesn't care about illegal aliens. The typical Trump tard says, yeah, that's Ocasio. She's stupid. She's stupid. Yeah, she's stupid. So they'll discredit the whole idea of concentration camps. See how this is being played out? That's why Trump won't prosecute Elizabeth Warren for the DNA test that she spooled out at less than half of 1% Cherokee Indian, because they want Elizabeth Warren in play. They want Ocasio-Cortez in play, even though, you know, she seems completely inept. I know there's a huge overhaul required in government, a complete cultural change, where efficiency is rewarded, not senseless bureaucracy. Well, because our government doesn't have to be accountable for its expenditures, we've allowed all the idiots to come in who like to spend money and do things for people as long as they pay their bills. Just like the guy over there at, like the guy over at Twitch who said he was getting lots of money from Mark. Now, Ozymandias says, who killed Seth Rich? Yeah, good question. And you know, Mueller never investigated Seth Rich. Obama had camps, but what Trump is doing, Ozzy, is he's moving the people, the families especially, are rising. The number of families coming into the U.S. is rising rapidly. He's moving the families to areas that they just have thrown in a bulk room with a concrete floor and nothing, hardly any clothes. And then he's moving them into a military facility so that we can't see it and no human rights groups can come in and monitor him. That's what's happening. There's a shift now under Trump. They're moving all the illegals into the military realm, which is like FEMA camps. So we're looking at a very, very similar situation to what happened under Hitler and the Jewish people, to our immigrants right now. Now, as you know, I've been fighting to stop the immigrant flow with my idea of a 1,000-mile fence, which Trump literally stole and called it his wall. And then somebody said, how are you going to pay for it? I don't know. Mexico, we're going to have Mexico pay for it. Yeah, right. Sure. Everyone knew he was talking through his butt. But truly, he could have built this fence by now. That's why Donald Trump has become a New World Order puppet. He won't build a fence. Trump is just using it to get reelected, or elected in the first place. He used the ideas I had just to get elected. Look at the mobile medical unit idea that I had for, 7 years? He grabbed it and called it his. Well, we're going to put mobile medical units in it all around the country. Did you see him act on that? Not one mobile medical unit was built the past 2.5 years. Well, this is a method that came up in our room. I mean, somebody suggested we use containers. I wanted to put a 1,000-mile fence in of any different variety. I had a lethal electric fence that I was talking about. And then somebody came in, Eddie Ecuador, famous chatter and blogger, came in and said, hey, Dave, have you heard about the active denial system, which uses low-level microwaves? It heats up your skin and no one gets near it. And I said, sure, yeah, let's do it. That's nice. Failure. Anyway, the active denial system is actually much safer than a lethal electric fence. But that could be run along the border very easily for probably under $1 billion as well, right around that. But Trump is going way beyond the purpose of what he's doing, yeah. Yeah, this happens every once in a while. We have a locked up program. Not sure what exactly is going on. Let me take a look. Let me see if I end this task, I can keep it going. Let's try that. Okay, we're going to close down.